order to permanently seize the assets worth about 326 million rand. It says the purchases were proceeds of corruption from irregular tenders at the Tembisa Hospital. Tabiso Koba has more.
Among the assets seized from the Maumela syndicates include beachside properties situated along Bantry Bay and Zimbali estates, 4 different Lamborghinis, and a luxury boat worth about 2 million rand. The NPA says 14 companies controlled by Hangwani Maumela unlawfully scored tenders and contracts amounting to about 400 million rand from the Tembisa Hospital. It says much of the money went towards funding their extravagant lifestyles instead of delivering the critical goods and services at the hospital. NPA spokesperson Keza Khanyago says the assets seized will be auctioned off soon.
All recovered proceeds will be paid into the criminal asset recovery account, where it will be reinforced for utilization by the Gauteng Department of Health.
Khanyago says the NPA is making steady progress in its pursuit to bring criminal charges against the people behind the Tembisa Hospital corruption. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
Opposition parties in Mfuleni are calling for more arrests in connection with a 16 million rand tender fraud case at the municipality. The DA and PAC were in the Funnelvale Park Magistrates Court yesterday, where former fleet manager Lerato Mpolo appeared on fraud and corruption charges. In 2023, the municipality issued a contract for 18 vehicles, but it only received 7. Financial clerk Martha Rantsofu uncovered the scheme and referred it to police for more investigation. She was later murdered after laying the complaint. Nkosikona Malingamnisi was in court.
The Gauteng Political Killings Task Team arrested Mpulo and has confirmed its investigation is at a sensitive stage with more arrests possible. The DA's Mfuleni mayoral candidate Kingsol Shabalala has welcomed that development, saying other municipal officials, politicians and anyone who played a role in the alleged scheme must also face the law. Shabalala says the growing number of criminal cases involving people entrusted to run Mfuleni underscores the municipality's deep governance failures.
It says a lot. As the DA we've been saying over the years, that the ANC has collapsed this municipality, and that this municipality, because of corruption, continues to limp from one disaster.
The PAC's Apapoe has echoed the same calls. Or see Kona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News.
Some suspects in the attempted murder trial of alleged crime boss Vusmuzi Kat Matlala are set to make formal limited admissions today to some of the charges they are facing. Proceedings got underway yesterday in the Johannesburg High Court. Matlala and his co-accused face 25 criminal charges from 3 separate alleged botched assassination attempts between 2022 and 2024. Demakasa Leshoro has more.
The limited admissions may remove the need for the state to lead evidence on the issues highlighted to streamline the trial. The developments came after all 5 accused pleaded not guilty to 25 charges. Counsel for Nzama, Advocate Timothy Chauke.
There are certain admissions that we will make, and we will also make our submissions tomorrow in the morning.
The 5 are facing a combined possible sentence of more than 300 years imprisonment if convicted. This as the state is seeking the prescribed minimum sentence for serious offences, with some counts carrying the possibility of life imprisonment. Counsel for Tiago Mabusela, Advocate Nardas Grovier.
There are certain admissions that will be made in terms of Section 220 of the Criminal Procedure Act, number 1977, which will be dealt with. May it please the Court.
Tsakane Matlala is also expected to make limited admissions. Dimakazo Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
And heavy rainfall in Chile has killed at least 10 people and destroyed more than 1,000 homes as the government declares a state of emergency. Since last week, rain has lashed the typically arid northern parts of the country, where such intense levels of precipitation are highly unusual. 17 other people have suffered injuries and 4 have been reported missing. Rising rivers have blocked roads and isolated communities, while mud and power cuts have disrupted drinking water supplies in affected areas. Gold is trading at $4,011.34 an ounce. The rand is at 16.50 to the dollar, 22.16 to the pound, 18.83 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $88.81 a barrel.
In the traffic, look out for faulty traffic lights in Woodmead at Woodmead Drive and Woodlands, in 4 ways at Monte Casino and Winnie Mandela, as well as in 4 ways at Cedar and Woodkoppen.
And in your sport, the Commonwealth Games starts in Scotland on Thursday with netball Spa Proteas in action against Malawi on Saturday. The SA national hockey team's forced to launch their own crowdfunding campaign to get to next month's World Cup. And the Italian Football Federation approaches Pep Guardiola to take over as national coach.
A fine day in store for Gauteng, Johannesburg, starting at 6 degrees, peaking at 21, Pretoria 3 and 23, Vereeniging -1, peaking at 21 degrees later. The top story in EW and the SAWA. The NPA says money raised from the sale of assets belonging to businessman Bongani Bingwa and his associates will be reinvested to the Gauteng Health Department.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
We're calling on Joburg to walk the inner city with us. In 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Babize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome to 702 Breakfast. It is Tuesday, the 21st of July, the year of our Lord 2026. Welcome to the program. We've got quite a bit for you on our menu today. I was struck by a moment during the World Cup this weekend, reflecting on the difference between the games played on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, of course, was the third place playoff, England versus France. A goal fest, 10 scored. France having to come back from 4-0 down by half-time. 6-4 it ended. Lots of records tumbling. Players playing with freedom and flair versus the snore and the bore of the final. One goal, that was all it took. What was the difference? Pressure. On Saturday they played for pride. On Sunday there was pressure. How well do you work under pressure? Do you boast about it? Is it on your CV? Do you declare it in interviews? Wear it as a badge of honor? And are there people who are not suited to high pressure positions or environments? We live in this high performance culture and everyone must be able to work under pressure. Are there people who simply cannot? How many more of us would enjoy what we do, would do it even better if you took off the pressure?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Government also wants to crack down on state housing occupancy. Often officials or politicians are entitled to using state housing despite the fact that they have housing allowances. And you can see the thinking. If you live in Pretoria, for example, you own a property in Pretoria, and you are an official for a particular moment in your career, you wouldn't necessarily sell your original home so that you could then live in state housing, right? The question then becomes, shouldn't then some of the money they get for their housing allowance go towards paying for their occupancy of the state house? That's a debate for another day. At this stage, they want to do an audit of who is occupying what. How many of these buildings are just standing there without anyone using them? How often do government departments end up using private properties and yet the state has buildings aplenty? What's the problem? Which official, which politician hasn't vacated a property? I mean, if you're a minister and you then, for whatever reason, are demoted to being a deputy minister, do you keep the same house? Who checks if you've left? We'll speak to the department about that. Growing pressure on the IDAC head, Andrea Johnson, to be suspended. Will she appear before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry? She faces a number of various serious allegations, and indeed, IDAC itself needs to answer for its working culture and what happens in that building. We've now seen at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry evidence that suggests that they fake it till they make it at times, that investigators will deal or fight their factional battles and exercise authority well beyond their mandate, with no one calling out what they're doing. People being tipped off on cases, being able to prepare for a particular version because they've had access to the complaint before the matters are ventilated in a court of law. That is extraordinary for yet another organization that is meant to be fighting crime in South Africa. We'll speak to the winner of the Nedbank Business Ignite competition for 2026, and we meet the latest chef to exit the MasterChef kitchen.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Do send us a voice note on 072-702-1702. I want to know from you, how well do you work under pressure? Is that something you boast about? Do you declare it in interviews? Is it on your CV? And in a high-performance culture, should we all be expected to work well under pressure? And I'll give you two examples in the sporting world. I've already, of course, made reference to the World Cup finals this weekend. But also, did you see the reaction of particularly the Argentine players once they lost? Did you see them going for the Spanish players? At the end of the game was over. The final whistle had been blown. They even, during the trophy award ceremony, the Argentine players turned their backs on the Spanish players. Typically, you would applaud the victors. You would, congratulate them. You would make sure in sportsmanlike fashion you recognize with respect that they won. The Argentine players turned their backs on them. Do you remember that 10,000-meter race that made Ethiopia's Haile Gebrselassie famous? They were racing. It was near the finish line. And, of course, the Kenyan legendary runner, Josephat Machuka, had been leading for much of the race. And in the final stretch, Ethiopia's Gebrselassie just had a little more gas in the tank. And he edged forward. And this Kenyan got so frustrated, he literally reached out and he punched him in the back. Ironically, he propelled him just a little faster across the finish line. Of course, many of us haven't heard of Josephat Machuka because he was banned for life after that. Whereas Gebrselassie went on to an illustrious career and records. But in that moment of frustration, the pressure was too much. And he just whacked him on the back. Because how dare you overtake me? This is my race. Can all of us work well under pressure? Ray White is in the studio, here for business news and more. Ray, how well do you work under pressure?
Well, I have to because there's breaking news. And I love breaking news. I love it. It breaks. You come down to the studio and you tell everyone about it.
But you've overseen newsrooms before.
Yeah.
Have you watched and can you tell who is going to succeed or not in that kind of environment, say from day one?
You can. You can see the temperament. You can see if somebody is chilled and they take it in their stride and they absorb the pressure, it's fine. But you can see that person who's just too highly strung and you put them on the sound desk. They can go and cut sound bites. It's fine.
But is it fair to expect that everyone will work well under pressure? How many people could thrive if they just didn't have the pressure?
Yeah, you can't. We're just not all built for it. I know of one person who I won't name. That person cannot work under pressure. We'll never put that person under pressure, ever.
Do you know, I never used to be able to work under pressure until I worked with the late Ntateng, who was a producer for Aubrey Masango's show. And she was the most composed producer in life. And that's a skill that I took from her. She always used to say, I'm a chakrahan. Of course I can work under pressure. So ever since, I'm able to definitely work under pressure. But no, I do think it's unfair. Why are you looking at me like that? Do you not know what a chakrahan is?
I'm listening to you.
Okay. Do you not believe that I'm a chakrahan? Ah! Wow. Do you work well under pressure, Bob?
More to be revealed. Send us a WhatsApp voice note at 072-702-1702. How well do you work under pressure?
Let's walk the talk.
702.
16 after 6, looking at the story in Eyewitness News at the top of the hour. The NPA saying the money raised from the sale of assets that belonged to businessman Hangwani Maumela and his associates will be reinvested to the Gauteng Health Department. Of course, all of this began with the whistleblower Babita Diokoran, who was murdered in her driveway, who was highlighting tender irregularities at the Tembisa Hospital. And essentially, the difference here between, say, what needs to happen for somebody to be found guilty in a criminal court of law versus what the asset forfeiture unit is able to do is it's on the balance of probabilities versus beyond reasonable doubt. So essentially, the NPA was able to argue that on the balance of probabilities, it is likely that these assets came from the Tembisa Hospital saga. So I want to also ask you this morning, which do you think would send a stronger message, which would be a better deterrent in this society? If anybody has gained loot from the proceeds of illegal activity, if all of that is taken, is that a better or stronger message than necessarily sending people to jail and giving them overalls, orange overalls? We've seen before, with enough money and influence, people can still pull the strings from their jail cells. At the best of times, of course, being in a correctional facility isn't a picnic. But if you have enough money, if you have enough influence, they smuggle TVs in there, man. They smuggle cell phones. They smuggle laptops, right? And officials look the other way if you can make certain things easier for them. And if you've been able to hide the loot, your sentence is commuted, you get out early because of good behavior, etc., right? And you may still continue operating your hustle from prison. However, if there was a guarantee that not a red cent of the proceeds of illegal activity that you get will be kept, and that you'll never work in this town again, which would be a stronger deterrent? Ray?
No. You have to go and do those orange overalls. Because
yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, let's say you do both.
But you can start again. I'm looking at Vusimusi Katmatlala and his wife. The wife, to me, looks arrogant. I'm going to say it. She looks arrogant. She's enjoying the spotlight. She could start again.
Listen to the premise of my question. If there was a guarantee that you couldn't keep a thing, not even a pin, right? Not even a pin, and you'll never work in this town again. If there was a guarantee.
A guarantee.
A guarantee.
No. Take my freedom, you've taken everything.
Khomotso?
I agree. Shoo.
Orange overalls or losing everything?
That's a very tough question.
Lose the loot or orange overalls?
Orange overalls.
All right. What are your thoughts? Let us know.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's
Ray, you've got a question of your own?
Josh, you've got some tough topics this morning, Bongs. Yeah, I've got one for you. And it ties into what you've been saying about pressure. Who have been your favorite rivals of all time? Your rivals of all time. McEnroe and Bjorn Borg, I remember that.
Yeah, tennis lends itself, right?
Oh,
Rafa and Roger.
Yeah.
Martina and Chrissy.
Yeah.
Ronaldo, Cristiano that is.
Yeah.
And Messi.
There it is. Schumacher and Mika Hakkinen. So,
yes, of course. Don't forget Ayrton Senna.
Yes.
Right?
Ayrton Senna was big. So I'm asking that this morning. Who have been your favorite? Because we love to watch them. I love McEnroe. He used to go, the ball was out. It was in. I like that.
I'd call Sampras and Agassi. Tennis, it's all about tennis, isn't it?
It is. Ding, 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 ding.
702.
Weather.
It's 20 after 6, a fine day in store for Gauteng today. Temperatures peaking at 21 degrees, again both in Pretoria, rather in Johannesburg and Vereeniging. Pretoria maxes at 23. That's the same high for Durban. At 25, Mahikeng and Mbombela. Gqeberha, 20. Kukompo City, 20 degrees. Cape Town, expected to be partly cloudy and you'll get a maximum of 17 degrees there. And, of course, that EWN weather report brought to you by Subaru. Wet roads, rough roads, roads you didn't expect. Subaru carries you through life's weather.
The forecast says sunshine, but Mother Nature had other plans. Life changes, the weather turns. Little voices in the back still hoping you'll say yes. And you do. Because beneath you, there's a different kind of certainty in every turn and every stretch of road ahead. You don't worry about the weather. Instead, you get to enjoy every moment and every memory. That's not just confidence, it's love. Subaru carries you through life's weather. Fall in love with Subaru's all-weather confidence. Book a test drive on subaru.co.za.
EWN Traffic.
22 after 6, let's have a first look at our roads. Khumbudzo Munyai, what are you seeing at this hour?
Good morning, Bongs. Considering that most schools are open today, I'm assuming the roads will be a lot more busy than usual. Traffic is starting to pick up in the usual hotspots this morning. The N3 through Germiston towards the Geldenhuys interchange. The M1 North and Boyson's approaching the Crown interchange. If you're in Alberton, the R59 is also starting to gather up some traffic there towards the Reading interchange, as well as an Eldorado Park on the N12 East towards the Golden Highway. I'll have more updates in just a bit.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Morning to you, Bongs, and the team. When it comes to pressure, that's me again, Bongs. That's me. I perform under pressure. In fact, I do things better under pressure than when I'm not. And that often causes a fight between me and my mother, because she's the person who takes her time, and I took after my father. Under pressure, that's where I perform. That is why I always wake up late, and yet I make it in time wherever I'm going, work, church, whatever. I make it in time, because under pressure, that's where you're going to see the best of me. See ya from Katlehong.
Bongani and the team. Right now I'm trying to think about the statement working under pressure. And I'm realizing that most of the time we feel like we're under pressure because of poor planning. People don't plan, people react, people try to solve a problem that they could have prevented. So at the end of the day, I don't think most of the time we are supposed to work under pressure. We are supposed to plan, we are supposed to be structured. And if we are, everything will be done at the right time. Level Kruger stop.
Oh, Level Kruger stop talking tough there. I mean, I hear you. Most of us are solving problems we could have prevented. If only we'd planned a little better, the pressure wouldn't be there in the first instance. I hear you, and I think that is sometimes true. It probably is true quite often, actually. But is it always true? Is that where the pressure always comes from? Let's talk.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
24 after 6, things you need to know at this hour. Do you remember advocate Malisela Tifo, who of course has been in some of South Africa's biggest court cases, certainly in recent times? You remember, of course, his role in the Senzo Meyiwa trial, for example. He's made headlines representing high-profile clients, including, as I say, in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. And then the Legal Practice Council struck him off the roll of advocates. They brought 6 disciplinary charges against him in 2023. Well, he's now been acquitted in all 6, removing the findings that led to his removal from practice, and the LPC is expected to begin the process of reinstating him. Wang Jibing, a 56-year-old food delivery rider, has won the Luzhong Literary Prize, one of China's most prestigious literary awards, for his poetry collection Low Flight. Many of his poems were written between deliveries. He was delivering, sushi and burgers, but he was inspired by the daily struggles of gig economy workers, and he wrote these amazing poems. And despite the award, he says he has no plans to quit delivering food. Do you have a hidden talent? Maybe you're an accountant who paints, a teacher who writes music, a plumber who speaks 5 languages. What's your hidden talent that nobody knows about, that you're perhaps a little shy to tell the world about? It's your secret little thing. Khumbudzo Munyai, do you have a secret talent?
I mean, it wouldn't be a secret anymore if I told you now, would it?
Right?
Nah, cooker means steak. That's where that ends. I'm sorry.
On this day in 2007, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, the 7th and final book in J.K. Rowling's series, was released worldwide. Fans queued through the night to get their hands on a copy, and the book sold an astonishing 11 million copies in the first 24 hours, making it one of the biggest publishing events in history. And I'd love to know if you're a book collector, or do you only keep the books that truly changed you? And what do you do with the books once you've finished them? Do you keep them in case you can come back to them once again, pass them on, donate them, or even sell them? On this day in 1967, one of South Africa's greatest political leaders died in circumstances that are still being debated today. Chief Albert Luthuli, the former ANC president and the first African to receive the Nobel Peace Prize, was killed after being struck by a train near his home in Grootville, KwaZulu-Natal. Officially, his death was ruled as an accident, but questions have lingered for decades. He remains one of the country's most important figures in the fight against apartheid. Is there a person in your life you are nervous to take to places? We all know this person. They're not a bad person, but you worry about inviting them to things because will they fit? You just don't know what will happen. They don't know how to read the room. They don't always have best timing, and they may say something that could leave people uncomfortable. Is it an auntie? Is it a granny? Is it an uncle? You love them to death, but you just go, yo. Well, on this day in 1990, BBC Radio 1 had to apologize after the singer Madonna repeatedly swore during a live concert broadcast from Wembley Stadium, dropping the F word 24 times during the performance, which was part of her Blonde Ambition tour. And that was already making headlines around the world. If you invite someone like Madonna, you best be prepared for what they might do.
702.
The newspapers.
Fisa Zulu, what's grabbing
morning.
your attention in the papers?
It's the story about the U.S. State Department accusing Cuban spies of infiltrating the highest levels of American government. They're saying a new report claims Cuba recruited generations of American activists and backed left-wing terrorism on U.S. soil. Cuba's foreign minister has rejected the report, calling it a fallacy. He says it's all part of a U.S. effort to justify military action against Cuba.
Lose the loot or orange overalls is the question I'm asking this morning. The Sowetan talking about how the NPA got the green light to seize Maumela's assets. This is the tender tycoon Hangwani Maumela. I mean, some of the things that were listed here, properties in Bantry Bay, one is valued at 88 million rand. At Peakenwood Estate in Harties, 13.6 million rand. A mansion in Sandhurst worth almost in fact, two of them in Sandhurst, both worth around 70 million rand. Another place in Zimbali worth 9.4 million rand. But it's the Lamborghinis for me. The how do you even say it? Aventador, right? Valued at 17 million rand. A car worth 17 million rand. Another Lamborghini worth 8 million rand. A Lamborghini Urus. A Bentley Continental. I mean, all of these fancy cars. What will be a bigger deterrent? Orange overalls or you lose the loot?
EWN.
Ray is asking us about the biggest rivalries we've followed in the world of sport, in the world of politics. What prompts the question?
Well, Bongs, a big rivalry is brewing in the pharma sector. It may not be as flamboyant as Sporting Stars, I'm afraid, but many will be affected. Aspen Pharmacare says its Canadian subsidiary has now received regulatory approval from Health Canada for a generic version of Novo Nordisk's blockbuster diabetes drug Ozempic. Africa's biggest pharmaceutical company says its generic semaglutide is authorized for the management of type 2 diabetes in Canada, the latest move to expand its operations. The expiry of Novo's patent for semaglutide, the active ingredient in Ozempic for diabetes and also Wegovy for weight loss, has opened the door for several drug makers. But the timing of Aspen's commercial launch in Canada remains dependent on the availability of active pharmaceutical ingredient API from India. In March, though, Aspen CEO Stephen Sard said the company's generics would be manufactured at its South African and French facilities. This comes after Novo said on Friday it was already launching a more affordable authorized duplicate. So that's coming soon. So the race is on to get the lion's share of the weight loss and diabetes markets. Who's going to win? Or will prices drop? So maybe we win after all, Bongs.
How are the markets?
Markets are down in the US, Asia up, so a bit of a contrast there. The rand at the moment, 16.48. That's the dollar. 22.15. That's the pound. The euro, 18.81. Platinum, $1,611.20. Gold, $4,048.40. And then that all-important Brent crude, $88.65. More business news for you in an hour.
Time now for the latest eyewitness news brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. The other juju in the headlines this morning. Sviso?
That's right, Bongani. It is suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Officer Julius Mkhwanazi and a JMPD cop. They are expected back in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court today for the outcome of their bail application. They were arrested on Friday for allegedly planning the theft of precious stones worth nearly 15 million Rand in Killarney about 3 years ago. But their versions of events differ, with Mkhwanazi insisting it was a legitimate police operation, while the cop known as Witness K at the Madlang Commission claims it was a planned robbery. Prosecutor Ncebantelwa.
Just to place on record, the state is not opposed to bail application. Schedule 6 is applicable on this matter. We were not opposed to bail as it stands.
The sentencing of convicted paedophile and former Cape Town teacher Ian Wares is expected in the Wynberg Magistrates Court today. The 86-year-old former Rondebosch Boys School teacher was found guilty in March of assaulting a former pupil in 1988. His sentencing was postponed again last week after his legal team submitted a medical certificate saying he was too ill to attend court. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
Last week's delay marked the third postponement in 2 months, frustrating child rights group Women and Men Against Child Abuse. The organization has been supporting the victim throughout the case. WAMACA Director Miranda Jordan says South Africa must ensure it does not become a haven for convicted pedophiles like Ian Wares.
Ian Wares, a convicted pedophile, is living as a free man. And what we need as soon as possible is that he is held accountable.
Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
Some environmentalists say 3 radioactive leaks at Koeberg Nuclear Power Station have raised fresh questions about the safety of the aging nuclear reactor. The National Nuclear Regulator now faces growing pressure to account for its decision to extend the life of Koeberg Nuclear Power Station's Unit 2. Radiological contamination incidents were reported at the facility last month during maintenance work. Carlo Peterson has more.
Authorities maintain no reactive material escaped into the environment and only low levels of radiation were detected inside the reactor building. But Southern African Faith Communities Environment Institute Director Francesca de Gasperis says the incidents highlight long-standing concerns about safety monitoring at the facility.
They need to very seriously look at their compliance and at their safety regulations.
Koeberg's Unit 2 was granted a 20-year license extension last year, while the National Nuclear Regulator says an investigation into the recent incidents is underway. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And at least 20 people have been killed and more than 100 remain missing in flooding that hit Afghanistan Nuristan province. Only mud remains where riverside shops previously stood in Purun, the provincial capital, where residents were searching for their mayor, among others. 20 bodies have been recovered so far, while more than 80 were injured. More rain is forecast across multiple provinces in Afghanistan, where people have now been warned to stay away from riverbanks and other areas with a risk of flooding. A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of -1 and 3 degrees, peaking at highs between 21 and 23.
In the traffic in Boysons, expect some peak time delays on the M1 North from Gold Reef City towards the Crown interchange. And in Germiston, traffic is moving slowly on the N3 North as you approach the Geldenhuys.
The top story this hour, Julius Mkhwanazi and Witness K are back in court today for the outcome of their bail application.
With the price of everything going up, a drop in your car insurance premium is just what you need to have extra money in your pocket. Switch to Outsurance and you could save big, like 50-year-old Yaku, who saves an amazing 282 Rand a month on his 2025 Suzuki Swift. Don't pay more than you need to. Get an Outsurance quote to switch and save today. SMS out to 45142. So that's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Head to Dis-Chem for your best winter buys. Look out for the yellow label to enjoy bulk savings on Better Rewards brands. Swipe your Better Rewards card and save 84 Rand on 2 Sanic 750ml shower gels, now just 139 Rand 50. Plus save more when you buy 2 bottles of Savlon 750ml antiseptic liquid, now only 149 Rand 98. Save 70 Rand. Valid until 9 August at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
Joburg, it's time to show up for our city. On Sunday, 26 July, join thousands of Joburgers for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk in proud partnership with Standard Bank. Walk through the heart of Johannesburg, celebrate its rich history, and experience the positive growth taking place in the CBD. As a committed partner, passionate about the growth of our city, Standard Bank invites you to be part of a movement that's helping build a safer, stronger, and spirited Josie for generations to come. Register now and take the walk that brings Johannesburg together. The 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, proudly partnered by Standard Bank.
Take control of your equipment, your billing, and your revenue with PumaTech. Built for all sized businesses in rental, construction, scaffolding, plant hire, and mining. PumaTech gives you real-time, on-site visibility of everything. Your equipment, your materials, across sites, yards, and branches. Simplify stock control, reduce losses, and manage your billing. All in one powerful, locally built platform. PumaTech. Know where everything is.
What is your business here?
You didn't start your business to play it safe. You took the leap, made the bold move, and now it's time to make the next one. This week, 702 and Budget Business Insurance are giving small businesses the chance to win their share of 100,000 Rand with the Budget BizBucks Bonanza. Enter on primemediaplus.com. Tell us about the boldest move you've ever made in your business and what your next one will be. Then get an obligation-free Budget Business Insurance quote. 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa could call you. Budget Insurance is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's apply. 702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongani. You know, with all these people that have been allegedly caught or are guilty of tender fraud, I think that once they get arrested, they should not be given bail at all. Maybe that would also serve as a good deterrent. I just can't believe how that man bought so many properties around South Africa, so many cars, boats, and it's money that belonged to a hospital, a place of vulnerability, a place where people come for help. You know, I don't understand. Does he not have a conscience? Thanks, bye.
Hey, Bongani. Good morning, everybody. This question about orange overalls versus taking money. Bongani, I do not wish even my worst enemy to go to jail, whether you have money or not. Bongani, to be told when to go to the bathroom, to be told when to eat, to be told when to sleep, to be around 100 and so men or women in one space. Bongani, jail takes away isidima sakho. Yazi, no. I'm with Ray on this one. Orange overalls all the way. Orange overalls all the way. Because that is going to destroy a person than taking away their money. Thanks, Feziwe Albertine.
Feziwe Albertine saying jail takes away your dignity. I'm asking a very simple question. Lose the loot or orange overalls? Why would you need 2 homes, both worth around 70 million Rand in Sandhurst? Sort of 2 streets or 3 streets away from each other. Why would you need 2 homes in Sandhurst? Why would you need 4 Lamborghinis? Lose the loot or orange overalls?
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, very good morning to you. It just doesn't stop. We're in that season where we've barely taken our breath with the FIFA World Cup. What comes next?
Well, what comes next, Bongani? You've got these few little days to rest, so we're still obviously excited. I knew this would happen. I'm extremely exhausted today. Yesterday I was fine. Today I'm like, holy wow. But you've got 2 or 3 days to rest, and then it's the Commonwealth Games in Scotland starting on Thursday. Isn't that exciting?
I mean, it's
a little
something,
something just to tie you over before the football season starts. I love it.
As the rugby championship continues.
Yes, that is right. Netball starts Saturday, and the Spar Proteas will play Malawi. They're in Pool A, that includes top-ranked Australia and England. Captain Kanyisa Chawane.
No, I'm feeling very excited. I mean, the team has been doing well. The team has been growing, and we've been working hard to be in this moment. And we have a very good team, and I mean, the trainings, you can tell how everyone has been pushing each other. But in all of that, everyone is having fun, and I think that's what it's all about.
The South African Hockey Association has been forced to launch a crowdfunding campaign to get the men's and women's national teams to next month's World Cup. Both teams are reigning Africa champs and need to raise R1 million per team to fund playing kits, travelling costs and accommodation. Crowdfunding campaign is on fundyourpassion.protouch.africa. According to the site, with 24 days to go, the women's team has raised R2,600. The men's team has raised just R270. Former Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has been approached to take over the Italian national team. Gennaro Gattuso left in April after Italy failed to qualify for their third successive World Cup. FIFA is investigating an on-pitch fight between Argentinian and Spanish players after the World Cup final whistle. Argentina defender Paredes shoved Spain's Garcia by the throat, and when Spain's Gavi tried to intervene, Paredes pushed him to the ground. It's unclear if FIFA will actually take any further action. The World Cup winning team returned home to huge celebrations in Madrid yesterday. Former England player and manager Kevin Keegan has died at the age of 75 from stomach cancer. Keegan in his day made 750 club appearances, won the First Division trophy with Liverpool 3 times, and was the Ballon d'Or winner back-to-back in 1978 and 79 when he played for Hamburg. And the Women's Tennis Association now requires all players to undergo genetic sex test in order to compete on the tour. Players will be tested just once in their lifetime, providing a cheek swab, blood or saliva sample to test for the presence of the SRY gene. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Take control of your equipment, your billing, and your revenue with PumaTech. Built for all sized businesses in rental, construction, scaffolding, plant hire, and mining. PumaTech gives you real-time, on-site visibility of everything. Your equipment, your materials, across sites, yards, and branches. Simplify stock control, reduce losses, and manage your billing. All in one powerful, locally built platform. PumaTech. Know where everything is.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch it this Wednesday at 10 to 9 featuring CTICC. Their CEO, Toby Mutlabane, will be in conversation with us. We do this to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
Since its establishment in 1990, thousands of successful leaders in the legal profession have walked through the doors of the Law Society of South Africa's School for Legal Practice. Not only do we promote professional training, but our lead schools across the country provide training in over 25 learning programs. For the best practical vocational training course for future leaders, come to LEAD. Visit our website on lssalead.org.za. LEAD, your #1 school for legal education.
Coming up in the next hour, brought to you by Outsurance, 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. You send us an answer based on anything that piqued your interest during the show to win $1,000. WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072-702-1702. Later, someone will ask a question to win 2,000 Rand. You always stand a better chance of being selected if you've SMS'd out to Outsurance to get yourself a quote. So, SMS out to 45142 now and you could save on your car insurance.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Good morning, 702 and Uncle Bongani. My name is Leroy and I go to CBC Mount Edmund, Pretoria. When I grow up, I would like to be something like a robotics engineer, and I cannot wait to play the Whiz Quiz.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 to save on your car insurance. If not, you can ask them for 500 Rand. What are you seeing on the roads at this hour? Some delays in the Midrand area, you were saying earlier.
Yes, thank you, Bongs. If you are leaving Midrand right now, you can budget about a 10 to 15 minutes of travel time as traffic is sluggish in that area on the N1 south approaching Allendale Road. Over in Alberton, there's some traffic pressure on the R59. This is from Kliprivier Drive to the Reading interchange. If you're traveling on the N1 North, traffic is starting to slow down there from Beyersnodia, that is, to Winnie Mandela Drive. You can also look out for faulty traffic lights in North Riding at the N1 South and Malibongwe, in Midrand at Old Pretoria and Olifantsfontein, as well as in the capital city of the country, in Gasfontein at the N1 in Gasfontein, as well as in Centurion at Old Johannesburg and Tritchard. If you come across any other traffic, please do send us a WhatsApp voice note to 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever excuses for being late, number 93. The GPS language setting mysteriously changed to Greek. Fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer in the FSP.
When you're walking the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk this Sunday, keep your eyes open because Mazda is bringing wonder to the 8-kilometer route. There'll be 5 Mazda Wonder experiences, including a piano performance, a world of color, a bubble field, a Japanese garden, and the Mazda Wonder Hub. Visit one of the 5, capture and share your wonder moment on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. Tag and follow at Mazda SA using hashtag Mazda SA, and you could win your share of 50,000 Rand. Mazda, where wonder awaits. T's and C's apply.
At the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, snap and share any one of 5 Mazda Wonder experiences using hashtag Mazda SA to stand a chance to win a share of 50,000 Rand.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. The total number of lotto winners to date is 18,886,946, and the total prize money won is over 149 million Rand. So what must you do with this information? Inspire yourself and play the lotto. It's still just 5 Rand. Catch the live draws on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 9 p.m. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizakai.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Good morning, Bongani and 702 lenders. Bongani, both orange overalls and lose the loot. Both. Thank you.
In an ideal world, certainly lose the loot and orange overalls. And don't forget, some of the proceeds that will now be taken from the sales of these properties are going to go back to the Gauteng Health Department. You might argue that's where it all went wrong. Who says that the controls are any better now?
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Let's play the Whiz Quiz. We play with contestants aged 10 to 13. Simply go to Prime Media Plus to enter your little one. They must be aged 10 to 13. I've got 10 questions. I need 10 correct answers in 60 seconds to give away 10,000 Rand. Otherwise, it's $100 for each correct answer. Today we're playing with Leruo, who is 12 years old, goes to CBC Mount Edmund in Pretoria and wants to be a robotics engineer. Leruo, what fascinates you about robotics? What kind of problem do you want to solve?
Well, I think technology is really cool and I want a fun job that also pays really well.
I think you'll get both on that one, hey? I think you'll get both on that one. All right, let's see how much fun you'll have playing the Whiz Quiz. KG, start the clock. What is 12 times 6?
72.
Correct. Give which is the famous 1912 ship that struck an iceberg and sank in the Atlantic Ocean?
The Titanic.
Correct. True or false? Dialysis is used to treat the human heart.
True.
It's false. How many sides does a pentagon have?
5.
Correct. Give the name of the hole in the needle through which you put the thread. Is it the eye or the ear?
The eye.
Correct. In which city would you find the Eiffel Tower?
Paris.
Correct.
Paris.
Correct. What is the longest wall in the world?
The Great Wall of China.
Correct. Spell the word robotics.
Robotics.
Correct. Give the name of Gauteng's capital. Is it Johannesburg or Vereniging?
Johannesburg.
Correct. What is the largest animal to have ever lived on the earth?
The whale.
The whale. You're correct. The blue whale. The blue whale would have been the specific answer we were looking for there. I'm looking at the judges, and they are giving you a total of 900 rand. 900 rand. So close, Leroy. So close.
Happy.
It was the dialysis one. Dialysis is used to treat kidneys, not the heart. That's the only one you got wrong. You very happy, hey? Leroy?
Yes, I'm
Well
very,
done.
very happy.
Well done. Congratulations.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
8 to 7. On to this now. I work well under pressure. Haven't we all said it before? Wore it like a badge of honor, right? We write it on our CVs. We declare it in job interviews. But is it actually true? Does pressure really bring out the best in us? Or does it slowly chip away at our focus, decision-making, and mental well-being? Does it help us think more clearly and perform better? Or does it cause anxiety and make us more likely to make mistakes? And is handling pressure something we learn over time, or is it simply part of who we are? The question, as I said earlier, struck me during just watching the World Cup this past weekend, Saturday and Sunday's game. Right, Saturday, third place playoff between England and France, an absolute goal fest, 10 scored. I mean, from end to end, it was action all the way. There was pride to play, but not that much pressure. The final, Spain v Argentina, only one goal. All of that pressure. It was a snore. How much could the players have played with flair and freedom if the pressure wasn't there? So we've invited Dr. Kitumetse Mashigo, who's a clinical psychologist and also a sports journalist. So these two worlds collide in your expertise. A very good morning to you, Doctor. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, Bongani. Good morning to the listeners. Thank you for having me.
Do we
sports
all...
psychologist, not journalist, please.
Oh, sports psychologist. I beg your pardon.
Yes, no problem.
Sports psychologist. Do we all work well under pressure?
Definitely we do not. We are very unique beings, and when we are both under pressure, one of us can crash and the other one can really perform. So no, definitely we are not wired the same.
What happens in our brains and our nervous system, I suppose, when we're under pressure?
So pressure is the external force that, comes at us. And stress is then the internal reaction we have, the internal, whatever happens internally within us. So for some people, basically it gets our body into fight or flight mode. And what happens is then the adrenaline and the cortisol is then released. And it's good short term, but in the long run, it can become problematic. But also we need to learn how to manage it, right? So each one of us needs to understand that, okay, it's good, for example, before I'm running a race, that adrenaline, that cortisol, but I need to also manage it so I can focus and actually run the race in the best way possible. So that's not always easy for some people, or over time it can become problematic, leading to other problems such as anxiety, etc.
Dr. Mashigo, though, we work in this high-performance world in which you're expected to function well under pressure. You're expected to manage your stress well. Is that a fair expectation to make that a societal standard across the board?
Unfortunately, that's what society and corporate sometimes expects of us, but definitely it's not fair at all. Chronic stress, I always give this metaphor that imagine you're a soldier for life. That's you're not going to make it. You cannot be on autopilot, soldiering, fixing, bombs and expecting bombs all the time. Even when soldiers return from war, we need to help them to become civilians again. So it becomes important to learn how to reset, how to manage your stress, set boundaries, and make sure that you're not chronically under stress, because that can, as I I said, put you at risk for other things such as high blood pressure, for some people who are prone to that, strokes. That's why we get, young people having strokes, and yet on the outside they were healthy, because also what it implies is poor coping strategies might be developed, where people are taking now, the caffeinated drinks more, and they're not sleeping enough, they're not exercising, they're constantly just working all the time, and that can lead to burnout. And burnout is where people say things like, they have exhausted, they say things like, I cannot give anymore, I have nothing left to give. And what happens also, they become very cynical about life, about everything. They depersonalize, sometimes seeing people as objects if they're working with people. And then also the third aspect of burnout is when people start to doubt themselves in spite of the evidence. That imposter syndrome can step in, where, there's evidence about how great you are, but because you're chronically under pressure, under stress, you feel like you're not good enough.
Is that
and that can break you.
Is that perhaps the difference between healthy confidence and overconfidence?
Definitely, yes. That is the difference, where you're trying, but you just don't see yourself as good enough. So what's going on internally, in spite of the evidence that you're just unable to trust that you can deliver, and that's where then people need to come see me.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, you work, I would imagine, with elite athletes. Can you turn it on? I mean, we talk about big match temperament, right? BMT. Those are phrases maybe we lay people think we understand, but perhaps don't always. Can you turn it on, that ability to show up in the big moments? Is it something that comes naturally? Is it mental training? Is it a combo of both?
It's a combo of both, and of course, some people, it comes more naturally than others, right? Because as I said, we are unique. So obviously, some need to dig deeper to make sure that they are able to show up and not to be overwhelmed to an extent that they cannot perform. Because definitely, if you're overwhelmed, if you're overthinking, if you're in your head, if you're stuck on the mistakes, for example, that you made a minute ago in for example, a football match, it's going to be difficult. You need to really snap back and reset and move on. If there's a goal that you felt should not have happened, but it has happened, you need to reset and get your mind back in the game and still deliver.
Doc, we don't play World Cup finals, the vast majority of us, but we know deadlines. We know a deal that will make or break. We know that interview that could change my life. We know that pitch that we must make, that speech we must give. What's your advice in those scenarios?
Preparation is key, but also that self-awareness to see, okay, when I'm overwhelmed, how do I react? I always say to people, stress is physical symptoms without a physical cause, meaning when me and you are stressed, we react differently. So what happens to you when you are stressed and how to manage it, right? And also watch what's going on cognitively, because what happens, we tend to think of the worst case scenario. You're going to present something and already you are thinking they're not going to like it. So everything is always 50-50. It might go well, it might not, but trust that if it doesn't go well, I have the coping strategies to overcome.
What if I don't? I mean, what are those coping strategies? What are those practical tips? So hold on. Somebody could be listening to us right now. They're driving to an interview. This is the deal conversation that could significantly alter the trajectory of their career, their life. What are the coping techniques?
You know something, right? Yes, you might know for example, all the 7 colors of the rainbow, but you know 5 of them. 5 out of 7 is good enough. And you cannot know everything, but you do know something. So when you do get there, make sure that you show up and, if they throw you off with something that you do not know, tell them what you know. Right, and always breathe, because what happens, we also tend to hold our breath, and when you hold your breath, it's so difficult to think clearly, right? So when I say breathe, I mean from the core, the belly button, basically, and make sure that you ground yourself in that moment and really hear what they're saying, but know that you know something. And if you feel like it's not going the way you want, make sure that you reset and give them what you want, what you know. And I think, and also believe in yourself that you do know something.
Right. You know something, focus on what you know rather than what you don't. Appreciate your time,
Definitely.
Dr. Itumetu Mashigo, who is, of course, a clinical and sports psychologist.
702. Coming up, the big interview.
Up next, questions being asked about IDAC and who lives and works in those over 6,000 state-owned properties.
This is EWN.
Will Andrea Johnson show up at the Madlanga Commission this time? And more evidence from Kat Matlala's co-accused will emerge in their attempted murder trial. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The head of the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption, Andrea Johnson, is expected to return to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry this morning. Johnson fell ill a few hours before her scheduled appearance last Monday. She is expected to testify about her alleged relationship with embattled top cop Feroz Khan and the motivations behind IDAC's decision to go after senior crime intelligence officers. Tabiso Koba has more.
The expected appearance of Andrea Johnson before the Madlanga Commission today comes as IDAC faces a credibility crisis. Johnson herself is also in hot water, with some political parties and civil organizations calling for her head. Previous witnesses at the Madlanga Commission have accused her of having an improper relationship with the deputy head of crime intelligence, Feroz Khan. Back when Johnson was a senior prosecutor, she allegedly leaked to Khan contents of an assault case that was opened against him by another police officer. Johnson is also expected to field questions on whether IDAC's investigation into crime intelligence head Dumsani Khumalo was politically influenced. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
Some suspects in the attempted murder trial of alleged crime boss Vusmuzi Kat Matlala are set to make formal limited admissions today to some of the charges they are facing. Proceedings got underway yesterday in the Johannesburg High Court. Matlala and his co-accused faced 25 criminal charges combined from 3 separate alleged botched assassination attempts that happened between 2022 and 2024. Dimakatsa Leshuro has more.
The limited admissions may remove the need for the state to lead evidence on the issues highlighted to streamline the trial. The developments came after all 5 accused pleaded not guilty to 25 charges. Counsel for Nzama, Advocate Timothy Chauke.
There are certain admissions that we will make, and we will also make our submissions tomorrow in the morning.
The 5 are facing a combined possible sentence of more than 300 years imprisonment if convicted. This as the state is seeking the prescribed minimum sentence for serious offences, with some counts carrying the possibility of life imprisonment. Counsel for Tiago Mabusela, Advocate Nardas Khrovier.
There are certain admissions that will be made in terms of Section 220 of the Criminal Procedure Act, number 51,077, which will be dealt with. May it please the court.
Tsakane Matlala is also expected to make limited admissions. Dimakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
In another high-profile case, suspended EMPD officer Julius Mkhwanazi believes his former lover testified against him at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry out of spite. Mkhwanazi and his ex-girlfriend, who is only known as Witness K, made their first appearance in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court yesterday. They were accused of plotting the theft of precious stones worth nearly 15 million rand in Killarney 3 years ago. But Mkhwanazi denies stealing the stones, insisting he was leading a legitimate police operation. Alfara Mushwana has more.
Embattled EMPD Chief Julius Mkhwanazi has confirmed that he was in a romantic relationship with Witness K, a JMPD officer who accuses him of plotting the theft of precious stones. Mkhwanazi says the relationship lasted only a few months before he ended it because he did not see a future with Witness K. Through his lawyer, Mkhwanazi told the court that he believes Witness K lied about him plotting to steal the precious stones because she's a bitter ex.
Insofar as she's implicated me with the spurious criminal acts which now form the basis of the charges being preferred against me here. 16.2. She was emotionally distraught and devastated when I jilted her. I believe this to be the primary motive in fabricating her evidence to the Commission.
The ex-lovers are set to return to court today, where they'll stand side by side as judgment on their bail application is handed down. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
And Lebanon's President Joseph Aoun is set to meet with his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump in Washington today as pressure builds for Beirut to disarm Hezbollah. That is Israel's key condition before withdrawing from South Lebanon. However, Hezbollah has repeatedly rejected disarmament. It comes a day after the U.S., which has sponsored negotiations between Lebanon and Israel, announced the start of the implementation of an agreement granting the Lebanese army control over pilot zones in southern Lebanon, primarily located just outside lands Israel occupied earlier this year. Ayoun, who has criticized Hezbollah's decision to pull Lebanon into the war, is now hoping Trump will further pressure Israel to withdraw from occupied Lebanese lands. Gold is trading at $4,047.27 an ounce. The rand is at 16.48 to the dollar, 22.15 to the pound, 18.81 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $88.50 a barrel.
In the traffic, look out for faulty traffic lights in Roodepoort and Hendrik Potgieter and Jim Forshare, in Edenvale at Morgenfontein and Van Riebeek, as well as in Midrand at Ellendale and Waterfall.
And in your sport, Minister of Sport, Art and Culture, Gayton McKenzie, defends his department's 31 million rand expense on the delegation at the FIFA World Cup. The South African national hockey team's forced to launch their own crowdfunding campaign to get to next month's Hockey World Cup. And Italian Football Federation approaches Pep Guardiola to take over as national coach.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg is at a low of 6 degrees, peaking at 21. Pretoria, 3 and 23. Vereniging, -1, peaking at 21 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The head of the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption, Andrea Johnson, is expected to return to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry this morning.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy that connects us all.
That's what makes this one so special.
In 702, Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the city of Johannesburg. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 after 7. All eyes are going to be on the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry this morning. Will Advocate Andrea Johnson show up? We'll be talking to governance expert Tebogo Kas about that coming up shortly. But certainly it is going to be one of those days where, we're going to have to see one of the head of one of the country's top agencies fighting against wrongdoing, themselves being asked the tough questions. What are your expectations? Yesterday, Britain saw yet another Prime Minister. How many in the last 5 years? I think their fourth one now in the last 5 years. King Charles has been king for how long? How many Prime Ministers has he asked to form a government? But the new UK Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, saying that his government is going to explore trading in goods from illegal Israeli settlements in the West Bank. Talking tough on Netanyahu, on Benjamin Netanyahu. He also apologized for Labour's position on the situation in Israel and Gaza and the delayed call for a ceasefire.
We must also be clear in our criticism of what has happened in Gaza. I know many people feel that at the start of Israel's military action in Gaza, my party didn't get it right, and I am sorry about that. The response has too often not been good enough. We need to do better. Yes, we have taken some important steps. These include recognising the Palestinian state, placing sanctions on Israeli ministers, and imposing waves of sanctions on violent settlers and the organisations that support them. I also fully support the restrictions on arms licences to make sure that no British bombs or bullets can be used by the IDF in Gaza or in the West Bank. But let's be honest, the UK was too slow to call for a ceasefire, and we must now do more to strengthen our approach. Israel continues to violate the ceasefire agreement, killing innocent Palestinians. We're seeing a surge in settler violence in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, and the continued expansion of illegal settlements, displacing Palestinian communities. And Netanyahu's government is clearly attempting to make a two-state solution impossible.
One of the points of contention, of course, around the World Cup finals was the position taken by the Spanish government and that of Argentina on this very issue. The Spanish Prime Minister is very sympathetic to the Palestinian cause and has even joined our case against Israel at the ICJ, whereas Javier Milei, the right-wing populist Argentine president, even gave the Argentine jersey to the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. So the final was a lot more than just about football.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
What's the fastest you've ever traveled on land? Imagine going at 600 kilometers an hour. Well, that's a train in China. On this day in 2021, China unveiling its bullet train, the Maglev bullet train, one of the fastest trains ever built. And instead of rolling on rails like a normal train, this one uses powerful magnetic forces to lift it above the track and to move it forward. We told you earlier of the possible reinstatement, in fact, the almost certain reinstatement of advocate Malisela Tifo, who's been cleared of disciplinary charges. If you remember, of course, he has been the face of some of the South Africa's biggest matters in the courts, most notably during the Senzo Meyiwa trial. He was struck off the roll by the Legal Practice Council, which brought these charges against him in 2023. Well, he's now been acquitted of all 6, and it removes the findings that led to his removal in the first instance. And one of the world's most beloved actors and comedians, Robin Williams, born on this day, the 21st of July in 1951.
702. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN Traffic.
Let's catch up with the roads. Khomutsa Munyai at the traffic desk. What are you seeing? Peak hour delays really all over at this hour, right?
That's correct. Thank you, Bongs. As expected, those peak time delays on the M1 North through Boysons have increased, so you can budget about a 15-minute delay. This is from Gold Reef City towards the Crown interchange. The M2 West is also becoming increasingly congested as you approach the Crown interchange. In Germiston, traffic remains slow on the N3 North. This is between Helands and the Gelden Haze. Also look out for faulty traffic lights in Rodiport at Hendrik Potgieter and Jim Forshare, as well as in Marlborough at Old Pretoria and Marlborough Drive. Pointsmen are on duty there, so no need to worry much. I'll be back with more updates in just a bit.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Johannesburg is calling. It's this Sunday. How many more lalas? Count them. It's tonight, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 5 more lalas before thousands of Joburgers come together for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, proudly partnered by Standard Bank, walking through the historic streets of the CBD, celebrating a city on the rise. And it's more than just a walk. It's Josie coming together. Have you not registered yet? What are you waiting for? Register now for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Standard Bank is an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
Tired of seeing the same tiles everywhere you look? Charm Decor is where you'll find something different. We curate high-quality imported tiles and mosaics that transform your space into something truly special. Design-led collections, easy online shopping, and samples delivered straight to you, so you can choose with confidence. Trusted by interior designers, architects, and home renovators. Discover tiles that inspire. Charm Decor. Visit charmdecor.co.za and order your samples today.
This is what progress sounds like. At South African Airways, we've added more aircraft to the runway, increased our flights from just over 1,000 in 2021 to over 24,000 last year. And we continue to add more destinations and routes. It's steady progress over time. We know there's still work to do, but every day we're building something stronger. An airline that shares the resilience of the country it carries. South African Airways. Book your next flight at flysaa.com today.
Many of us take taking a deep breath for granted. But for some infants with RSV, every breath is a battle. Respiratory syncytial virus is a contagious virus that can lead to serious illnesses, including lung infections. Fortunately, protection for infants against RSV is now available in South Africa. Ask your healthcare provider about keeping your baby protected during their first RSV season.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
On to this now. So just how many government-owned houses are still serving the public interest, and how many have just become costly perks? Public Works and Infrastructure Minister Dean McPherson has ordered a full investigation into more than 6,000 state-owned homes occupied by government departments and officials. Who's living in these properties? Do they qualify to be there? Which homes should be sold off? And should officials who already have housing allowances be using these properties in the first place? How many government departments are renting from private property owners when we have so many government buildings that could be available? James de Villiers is the spokesperson for the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure and joins us now. A very good morning and thank you for your time.
Good morning, Bongani, and good morning to your listeners.
So what prompted this latest review and why was it necessary to launch it now?
Yeah, the review was prompted from information that was uncovered through a parliamentary question to the Minister of Public Works, and it actually revealed the scale of the department's residential property portfolio. And this information has not been previously presented to the ministry in this form, and it raised important questions about whether these assets are managed efficiently, lawfully, and in the best interest of the taxpayer. And once the minister became aware of the extent of this portfolio, he believed it was necessary to initiate this comprehensive review.
Why did we not know before?
Like I said, this information wasn't presented to the minister in this form before. The department owns approximately 88,000 buildings across the country, but the ministry wasn't aware that of those 88,000, more than 6,000 were allocated to state employees for use.
I mean, I understand not everything will be known to the minister, but it surely must be known to someone in the department. Could not, say, the Director General or their office speak to this information?
Yeah, I think you're completely correct, and I think it is an issue that the minister is concerned about himself, that these properties, that he wasn't aware of these properties, which is why he gave the DG such strict 30-day deadline to uncover exactly where these properties are located, who they're used by, which user department, etc., because he believes it's unacceptable that the situation is continued to this extent.
When was the last audit done?
The last audit, the Department of Public Works is ongoing asset audit of the entire property portfolio of 88,000. I don't know if you recall when the minister entered the department, he expressed his concern that there's actually no clear picture of the department's asset portfolio, which is why asset audit is continuing at this stage as we speak.
So the inventory, the audit that you had didn't give you the full picture?
At this stage, no, which is why the minister requested this audit to continue within the next 30 days.
So who checks if ineligible officials or politicians have left or vacated the properties that they were once able to use?
Department officials will be responsible for that, and their job is to make sure that officials leave, that properties are protected, etc. But as we know, that system has broken down. We have many incidences where former politicians, where former judges, etc., still remain in these properties, which is why when the minister entered the portfolio, a number of court cases has been launched to try and get those people to vacate those properties.
You have to sue them to get them out?
Unfortunately, that's the extent to which the system has broken down to, which is what the minister is trying to fix at this stage.
What are some of the more egregious examples? I remember the judge who overstayed his welcome, but are there any others?
Yeah, there's another matter of former MPs in Acacia Village that has refused to vacate their property since they have lost their membership, which is one of the ongoing court cases
Who's that?
Involved in.
Who's that MP? Former MP?
It's MPs, and unfortunately can't divulge this information.
Why not?
That's not for me to divulge. That's for the courts.
But if the matter is before court, why can't you tell us?
The matter, the information is public knowledge. The chief whip of the party is involved.
Who?
It's official, former MPs of the official opposition.
James?
That I can provide you that list to your listeners when requested, but there's former MPs of the official opposition. I don't have that. I think it's about 6 individuals, and I don't have the names right in front of me at this moment.
If, for example, a minister is, demoted to the position of a deputy, must they vacate their old ministerial home?
At this stage, because deputy ministers and ministers are allocated properties at the start, at their appointment, they would remain in the residence that were allocated to them once they were appointed.
Yeah, if they're no longer in that position, do they stay in those homes?
No, so deputies, even if a deputy becomes a minister, they stay in exactly the same property that they were allocated.
Even if for a different department?
Even for a different department, that's correct.
When are you going to make your findings public?
So the minister gave the DG 30 days to provide the reports on these properties. And once that report has been provided to the minister and it's legally sound, the minister is committed to make it public because he's aware that the government has operated for so long with a lack of transparency, which is why the situation has deteriorated to this extent, which is why he's committed to make sure that that report is made fully public, as he's done with previous reports. You remember the PwC report in the IDT was made public. You remember the number of building collapse reports was made public. So this report will also be made public once the T's and C's have been crossed.
James, give us the minister next time, hey?
I will definitely do so, I promise.
All right. James de Villiers, spokesperson for the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
21 after 7. We're now joined by the chairperson of Public Interest SA, a governance expert, if you will. This, of course, as pressure mounts on IDAC head Andrea Johnson, who's expected to appear before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry this morning. This, of course, as her leadership at IDAC has, or at least under her leadership, IDAC has been accused of factional battles and acting beyond its mandate and even abusing its power. You'll remember she failed to appear at the commission before and instead produced a medical certificate that excused her at the last hour. The commission chair, Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga, questioning the validity of that sick note, calling it useless. Tebogo Kasa can help us wade through this now. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for your time.
It's my pleasure, Bongani. Always a pleasure being with you.
It's easy, of course, to focus on the person of Andrea Johnson, and we will in a moment. But more broadly speaking, how serious is the crisis, I would say, currently facing the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption, IDAC?
You know, in short, what this exposes is the accountability gap within the criminal justice system itself. It is so wide that you can actually let a whole train go past or go through. Because if you look at it, it appears to us that certain individuals, especially senior individuals within IDAC and to a great extent the SAPS itself, criminal intelligence in particular, seem to have thought that they are beyond censure, or they are beyond scrutiny, and they could do as they please and get away with things that you and I wouldn't necessarily get away with. And the truth is, now their moment of comeuppance is now at their door, and they seem to be struggling, feigning one injury, sickness, or the other to avoid accountability. So it is a significant moment insofar as accountability is concerned in South Africa, especially public service.
I mean, IDAC, essentially their mandate, right, is to investigate serious and intricate corruption. We're talking financial crimes, organized economic offenses, whether, of course, it includes senior public officials or SOEs or even the private sector. They should essentially be hand in glove with a commission like the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, because it's one thing for us to celebrate and cheer the arrests that seem to flow from the commission's evidence, but it's quite another to ensure that those people are in fact convicted.
You know, convictions don't just come from drop from the heavens as like manna. Convictions are a work of assiduous investigations, assiduous commitment to the rule of law, and making sure that when you approach the courts themselves, you get there with clean hands. If as a prosecutor you have got a cloud hanging above your head, and yet you've got to bring other people to book, a lot of it damages your integrity, it damages reputation, it damages public perception of how criminal justice system is and should be. And coupled with that, when you negotiate as a prosecutor with criminals, plea deals, people start asking, could there be that this is one instance where there was what's in it for me by the prosecutor or the people involved insofar as investigating this matter? As we've seen with the issue. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, even without foul play, we've heard recordings of Andrea Johnson telling her team to show up dressed to the nines, even if their files were empty, as long as they looked the part.
Absolutely. It's a fake it till you make it type of prosecution mantra, and which doctrine does not have been shown to actually be very thin and without any results. You might just as well use the case of Matela Koko, which was thrown out of court. Thrown off the court roll the other time. Even today, years later, we still are none the wiser as to when are they ready to go back to court with their shiny shoes as well as empty files, because it has shown that they've done the shoddy work. They were not able to make sure that they go to court prepared. So yes, it is the fake it till you make it type of prosecution doctrine, which does not do as well as a constitutional democracy.
So how confident are you then that convictions will flow from some of the arrests we have seen?
Well, we can only hope and pray that indeed when they do present their matters in court, that the cases are watertight. We can take confidence in the sense that not everything lies in the hands of IDAC, for example. We've got the Commission's recommendations task team, which seem to itself be better prepared. And at least there's more confidence in such a unit than there is in IDAC, which we believe that it is yet far away from the mandate for which it was established in the first place, which was basically to go after state capture cases mainly and corruption in general. But instead, it is accused of the very same thing that it is accusing or seeking to accuse and charge others for.
What type of questions do you expect Andrea Johnson to face this morning?
It's a long list. It's going to be a long day for her. Absolutely, it's going to be a long day because initially she will try and set herself, tell us who she was and what she does, and try and talk about all the wins that she had. If you look at the IDAC report that they presented to Parliament not so long ago, she'll gloat about this and the other things. But when the cracks come, when the commissioner starts picking and piercing her presentation, it will be a very tough day for her, and she better have answers, because you don't come to play when you come to the Madanga Commission, unlike what she was able to get away with when she was called Mama Winnie Mandela in Parliament the other time when she appeared there for the same matter.
Should the president suspend her?
Well, obviously the president can only suspend her when there's due cause. When there's cause, we believe that Public Interest SA has provided sufficient evidence for due cause, and the NPA has done its work and made its representations. Its report, sent its report to the minister, who must now act on it. And the next step will be for the minister to make sure that the president has a report on their desk and consider it and act if there's a recommendation for them to act, because you cannot just put somebody on suspension without due cause. And then, if that is the case, then we would expect that a process be unfold, such as making sure that a tribunal is set up to look into a fitness to hold office.
Is there any scenario in which he resigns to avoid showing up this morning?
Anything is possible. South Africa is alive with possibilities. We may just as well be thinking that we expect this, and then it might very well turn out that a cat ate her evidence or a dog ate her evidence, and we might just as well call it a day.
Oh gosh, even a sick note from Chris Barnard won't save her today, will it? Debo Khokas, Chairperson of Public Interest SA.
EWN Business.
Ray White here for Business News. Ray, the world,
yes,
a loan from the World Bank. Are we getting that?
We are
expected
indeed
to create thousands of jobs.
Actually, hundreds of thousands. It's quite something. The announcement of new financing by the World Bank Group is being seen as possibly creating up to 600,000 jobs by 2032. Announced yesterday, we should know more details on the funding and where it will be spent over the next few months. The group says the funding will focus on South Africa's efforts to modernize critical infrastructure and unlock job creation by tackling long-standing bottlenecks in electricity, freight, transport, water, and also sanitation services. The $1.5 billion International Bank for Reconstruction and Development loan is the fourth in a series of standalone development policy loans to our country since 2022. Now, the group says reforms that are already showing results are the end of load shedding, of course, and the private investment in renewable energy also increasing sixfold. And they say they are impressed, so they've given us money.
Mediation in the Middle East making things a little easier.
Oh, I hope it does continue. Asian stocks have risen this morning as those mediation efforts in the Middle East pushed oil prices away from a one-month high, while investors braced for a slate of corporate earnings that will test an under-pressure trade. Hang Seng up 0.13%, but all three main U.S. indices down at the close last night. You're now down 0.53%. And then looking at our rand, 16.47. That's the rand to the dollar. Pound 22.14. The euro 18.81. Platinum $1,611.20. Gold is $4,050.25. Brent crude oil now $88.67. I'll have more business news for you in an hour.
To the news desk we go. She's back, is she not? Sfisa Zulu.
Well, Bongani, the Cape Town Regional Court has reserved judgment in the case involving beauty queen Chidima Adechina. Adechina, a former Miss South African finalist, withdrew from the pageant in 2024 after it emerged that her mother might have committed identity theft to become a South African national. She later went to Miss and win Miss Universe Nigeria, where her father is from. The Home Affairs Department is seeking a court order confirming her detention pending deportation. And her lawyer says he's confident the decision declaring Adechina a prohibited person in South Africa will be overturned. Camry Clark reports.
Chidima Adechina's lawyer, Advocate Giles Barclay Buton, has argued against her detention pending deportation, saying Home Affairs failed to prove she is a flight risk and noting she is willing to surrender her South African passport. He also added that she is a high-profile individual and is unlikely to disappear without a trace. He told the court her arrest after re-entering South Africa via Mozambique in June was an ambush and pointed out that she had unsuccessfully applied for the prohibited person status to be uplifted days before arriving. The same decision, which is now being reviewed by the Western Cape High Court. The lawyer for Home Affairs, Mutlalepule Ranto, countered, saying that Adechina has also re-entered the country last year despite being on a visa-restricted list. Ranto also asked the court not to rule while preempting the outcome of the High Court review. Judgment is expected on the 19th of August. Camry Clark, Eyewitness News.
The sentencing of convicted pedophile and former Cape Town teacher Ian Wares is expected back in the Wynberg Regional Court today. The 86-year-old former Rondebosch Boys School teacher was found guilty in March of assaulting a former pupil in 1988. His sentencing was postponed again last week after his legal team submitted a medical certificate saying he was too ill to attend court. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
Last week's delay marked the third postponement in 2 months, frustrating child rights group Women and Men Against Child Abuse. The organization has been supporting the victim throughout the case. WMACA Director Miranda Jordan says South Africa must ensure it does not become a haven for convicted pedophiles like Ian Wares.
Ian Wares, a convicted pedophile, is living as a free man. And what we need as soon as possible is that he is held accountable.
Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
In Gauteng, one of the convicted killers of student activist Kefias Nyoka says considering his health condition, any sentence may amount to a life sentence. Apartheid Sergeants Abraham Engelbrecht and Peter Stander returned to the dock yesterday for sentencing proceedings. They were convicted of Nyoka's 1987 murder in December last year. 23-year-old Nyoka was murdered by apartheid police in his Davidton home where he was found sleeping. Modise has more.
Sentencing proceedings stalled yesterday in the Johannesburg High Court, sitting in Benoni, when former apartheid sergeant Abraham Engelbrecht changed his lawyers and brought an application for a postponement, telling the court that he's suffering from severe cardiomyopathy. One of the arguments raised by Engelbrecht's lawyers is that he'd be severely prejudiced if the court does not allow him the opportunity to have tests run for the purposes of his sentencing arguments. But Judge Ishmael Mohammed hit back at the submission.
I am sick and tired of people lecturing me about the accused's rights, as if the accused's rights are paramount. The accused has rights, constitutional rights, which this court will certainly see to it that are applied to him. But they are not cast in stone.
The judge reluctantly postponed the case to November and ruled that no more postponements would be allowed. Modise, Eyewitness News in Benoni.
And French lawmakers are today expected to approve a bill banning social media access for children under the ages of 15, putting France at the forefront of similar efforts in the European Union. Parliamentarians from the upper and lower houses reached a compromise on the bill's text yesterday, paving the way for a vote on its final adoption, which is expected to pass despite criticism from parties on the left. President Emmanuel Macron has championed the law as a flagship reform of his final term in office and is pledged to enforce it by September, meaning another element of the bill, which is a cell phone ban in secondary schools, would be in place by the beginning of the school year. A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 23 degrees.
In the traffic, look out for faulty traffic lights in Sunning Hill at Rivonia and Witkoppen, in Marlborough at Old Pretoria and Marlborough Drive, as well as in Midrand at Old Pretoria and Olifantsfontein.
The top story this hour, the Cape Town Regional Court has reserved judgment in the case involving beauty queen Chidima Adesina as she fights to stay in South Africa.
Welcome to Nando's Taste-Demonials. It's the flavor! Real reviews by real people. Nadine from Belito is no scallop, but she did call the flame-grilled half chicken in Nando's unique peri-peri recipe with a single side of your choice for $125 dope. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, sorry. Relax, Nadine. The only thing we're busting here is your hunger. Okay? Nando's. Oh, what a place.
What's for dinner tonight, South Africa? Hiya, Jamie Oliver here. Dinner stress? Forget it. I've teamed up with Checkers to bring you some of my favourite recipes the whole family will love. Easy peasy and delicious. Shop the ingredients on Checkers 6060 and boom, delivered in 60 minutes. Every week, 5 brand new dinner ideas. Checkers, dinner done better.
As a business owner, you're always looking for ways to save money. But have you looked at saving on your business insurance premium? With Outsurance Business Insurance, you could save big, like Bosmansdam High School.
We were with our previous insurance for 10 years plus before switching to Outsurance Business Insurance.
We are saving 3,705 Rand per month.
It was so quick and easy, we should have switched sooner.
Ready to switch and save? Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Bongani, good morning. Why ministers and deputy ministers can't live in their own homes? I mean, I think it was going to be much easier if then they continue living in their own homes and then, they just upgrade the security. That's it. Like this money, these houses that are built for ministers and deputy ministers, I mean, don't they feel uncomfortable just to be moving like after every year or 6 months? God, I'll be worried.
Morning, Bongani, and 702 listeners. Now you're from Twitter. Hi, Bongani. Why are you pressurizing the poor guy to give out names? He didn't want to. Oh my God, he nearly did it. And in my car was going, don't, please. Hey, you'll get that man into trouble. Shame, poor James. Good boy. You didn't give out the names. Oh no. Bongani, you are bad. Have a lovely day, everyone.
Sometimes you ask for the principal, right? You ask for the principal. No, he's not available. No, he's traveling. I'll do it. No, I want the minister. No, I'll do it. You sure? No, I'll do it. Okay. And yeah. As far as why do ministers and officials stay in these properties? Well, there are any number of reasons. Firstly, moving between Pretoria and Cape Town, the executive and legislative capitals, security and VIP protection. You've got to have perimeter security, access control, dedicated guard posts, secure communication lines for confidential government business, especially if it's a cabinet minister you're talking about. They have to be able to host diplomatic functions and officials from other countries. And the state gets to own the asset. If they were to upgrade my house to be able to do all of those things, what happens when I'm no longer a minister? All of that money has been wasted on my property, which the state will no longer have any benefit from. Whereas if you build one house, you provide all these things, it doesn't matter who's the minister, whether it's Cindy or Bongani, the house stays and it belongs to the state. So that's one of the reasons. My only question is, surely then some of the housing allowance that is given to these ministers could go towards paying for their stay in those homes. Wouldn't that at least be something a little bit more fair? Your thoughts?
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by OUTsurance. A chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. So first we'll give 1,000 Rand for the answer, then 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask OUTsurance for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Kamogelo. Kamogelo, please give us today's answer.
Good morning, Bongani. Today's answer is blonde ambition.
Ooh, Vogue. Strike a pose. Kamogelo. 1,000 Rand is coming your way, my friend. All thanks to 702 and OUTsurance. Thank you for that answer. Blonde ambition is the answer. What's the question? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
Talking of blonde ambition and Minister Cindy Paluta.
Minister.
All right, let's talk about the real Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Cindy.
Yes, Gayton McKenzie defending his department's 31 million Rand spend on the delegation to the FIFA World Cup. Right.
Yeah. Club Championships.
Let's go again. Minister of Sport, Art and Culture, Gayton McKenzie, defended his department's 31 million Rand expenditure on the delegation to the FIFA World Cup, claiming there's nothing untoward about spending public money to position South Africa globally. For the full story, you can go to ewn.co.za, but in short, 7.8 million was spent on the trips, travel allowance and accommodation for McKenzie, 2 support staff, the Director General and a 14-member team, 10 million spent on fan activities and exhibition spaces in Mexico, 6.7 million Rand spent on the 2010 Legends exhibition match played in Mexico that involved 27 people.
So we spent more on the minister's team, whoever the people that were on it, than we did on the fan activities and exhibition spaces.
From what I understand.
If I'm calculating here correctly, yeah.
That's, the full story, as I said, on ewn.co.za. Meanwhile, the South African Hockey Association has had to launch its own crowdfunding campaign to get the national team to next month's Hockey World Cup. Both teams are reigning Africa champs and need to raise 1 million Rand per team to fund playing kits, travelling costs and accommodation. The crowdfunding campaign is on fundyourpassion.protouch.africa. With 24 days to go, according to that site, the women's team has raised 2,600 Rand, the men's team just 270
Sorry, Cindy, to come in here. Once again, we spent millions for the minister and his team to travel to the World Cup. The hockey teams that need to go to the Hockey World Cup
have to fund themselves, yes.
Okay.
It is what it is. You know, that.
Okay. No, I was just making, because sometimes I've got wax in my ears.
This is it.
My mother used to say, I don't clean my ears. So sometimes, Okay. Please continue.
FIFA is investigating an on-pitch fight between Argentinian and Spanish players after the final whistle at the World Cup. It's unclear if FIFA will actually take any further action. The World Cup winning team Spain returned home to huge celebrations in Madrid yesterday. Former Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has been approached to take over the Italian national team. Gennaro Gattuso left in April after Italy failed to qualify for their third successive World Cup. Former England manager and player Kevin Keegan has died at the age of 75 from stomach cancer. Keegan, who won the Ballon d'Or in 1978 and 79, made 750 club appearances and won the First Division trophy with Liverpool 3 times. And the Commonwealth Games starts this week in Scotland. Netball starts Saturday, and the Spa Proteas veteran defender Carla Pretorius came out of retirement and will be playing in her 3rd Commonwealth Games.
Feels like that first time back in the day when it was my first cap. So that excitement and also a bit of nervousness as well. But it's been really good coming back into this environment. I felt very welcomed, and it's kind of just continuing where I left it off. I'm very happy and I'm very satisfied, and I'm looking forward to this challenge and journey lying ahead.
South Africa plays Malawi on Saturday in their opening game. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
And before you go, Cindy, Eugene Suela on our YouTube page is sending you his greetings. He says, "Good morning, Cindy, my favorite sportscaster."
Oh, my mother agrees with you.
EWN traffic.
And it's 7:45. Let's check on the traffic. We are seeing issues in Linwood, are we?
That is true. Bongs in Linwood, traffic is at a crawl on the N1 South between Linwood Road and the Flying Saucer interchange. Meanwhile, in the opposite direction, there has been an accident on the N1 North. It is due to, that accident is just after Rigel Avenue and it's causing about a 15-minute delay. This is from the Proof Plus interchange, so a little bit of patience there if you can, please. The R24 West through Edenvale is sluggish if you're heading towards the Galulis interchange. And the N1 North is still feeling that morning rush with a stationary vehicle adding to those delays just after Beyers Naudé, and it is on the right lane, so please approach with caution. Also look out for faulty traffic lights in the city of Tshwane and Centurion, at Hendrik Verwoerd and South, in Gasfontein at the N1 and Gasfontein, as well as in Brakfontein at Old Johannesburg and Brakfontein. If you come across any other traffic, you can just send us a tweet on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The CSIR International Convention Centre has over 40 years of experience in hosting international, local and national business events. It's a purpose-built venue set on a tranquil campus in Pretoria East in the knowledge hub and science diplomacy capital, the city of Tshwane. Why don't you host your next business event at a venue where innovation will meet experience? Visit csiricc.co.za for more information. The CSIR International Convention Centre, where smart minds meet.
Brush, stroke, paint, color, protect, and admire. From roof paint to exterior textures and interior silk, Warrior Paints has it all. The product range and stylish colors are amazing. And what's more, Warrior Paints has crush prices for incredible savings. Enjoy that good old-fashioned personal service you deserve. For price, quality, variety, and service, Warrior Paints is streets ahead. Warrior Paints. Affordable, lasting luxury.
Peregrine Capital presents Brian Habana's Count to 100.
In my journey to 100, it started with my first cap, then my second, 10th, 50th, 90th, 99th.
Brian Habana, his 100th international test.
You get to 100 one decision at a time. For 28 years, Peregrine Capital has applied that same discipline to turn 1 million rand into 100 million. Peregrine Capital. Invest in performance. An authorized FSP. Past performance non-indicative of future performance. T's and C's apply.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me what's the question. If the answer is blonde ambition. Let's go to Salamina in Pinetown. Salamina, what's the question?
What's the name of Madonna's concert called in 1990 when BBC Radio 1 apologized after Madonna saw 24 times?
Yes, during that concert, and they'd broadcast it live, so they had to apologize. And that's why we were asking the question, who's that person you can't take anywhere because you just don't know what they might say? Salamina, we know what you have said. 2,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to 702 Outsurance. And I suppose you could say, Madonna. That's coming from her halftime performance during the final of the 2026 FIFA World Cup final. It was such a moving moment when she had Brazilian legends Ronaldo and Ronaldinho do that final bow at the end. She walked onto the stadium with the two of them, flanking her on either side, and they did the bow with the Queen of Pop. Now, from fuel prices to groceries and electricity in an economy where the price of everything is going up, it's comforting to know that when you switch to Outsurance, you could actually save money on your car insurance premium. You could save big, like 50-year-old Lawrence, who saves an incredible 309 Rand a month on his 2025 Volkswagen T-Cross. How much money could Outsurance save you? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's and information online.
The world's best male and female paddle players are coming to South Africa. The historic Premier Paddle Pretoria P1 will be at Sunbet Arena Times Square from 26 July to the 2nd of August. Expect world-class action, unbelievable energy, premium hospitality, and an atmosphere unlike anything South African sport has seen before. This is Africa's biggest paddle tournament ever, and tickets are selling fast. Don't miss your chance to witness the sport's biggest stars in South Africa. Get your tickets now at primemediaplus.com.
Upgrade your home at unbeatable prices. Design Plus Interiors huge warehouse clearance sale in Wynberg is now on. Visit us at 17 6th Street, Wynberg for exceptional savings on quality sofas, bedroom suites, dining sets and accessories. This is your chance to get quality furniture at reduced prices. Stock is limited. Once it's cleared, it's gone. Design Plus Interior Furniture Warehouse, 17 6th Street, Wynberg.
You know when your people are giving their best, not because they're pushed or pressured, but because they feel supported. And support is making sure they're covered. So if something happens, they can get the care they need. FlexiCare Health Insurance makes it simple for every business to protect their people with affordable health cover. You care. We cover. For a tailored FlexiCare quote, speak to your financial advisor today. FlexiCare is not a medical scheme and the cover is not the same. FlexiCare is underwritten by Auto & General, a licensed non-life insurer and FSP, and administered by Discovery Health, an authorized FSP.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Time now for the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Bella.
Sit down, Kabazela. Sit down. Sit down. Good boy. Good boy.
Oh, this video made me laugh, I must say. So, I mean, during the whole lockdown period, we saw many at-home interviews and Zoom meetings with interruptions from children, etc., etc. But I don't recall seeing a dog interrupting a live interview. So this took place in Australia, and the One Nation MP, Barnaby Joyce, was being interviewed by ABC presenter Sarah Ferguson. And the interview was based on the One Nation leader, Pauline Hanson. She appeared on Tommy Robinson's podcast. Now, Tommy Robinson is a big proponent of illegal immigrants in the UK, and it was about, illegal immigration in Australia as well. So Sarah Ferguson, the presenter, was pressing him on his defense of his leader appearing on this podcast. And his dog, can you imagine? His dog is now there at home and it's causing a nuisance and whatever. And then he just shouts out, "Sit down!" But let's have a listen to the interview, Bongles.
Are you really comfortable with where she is taking you?
I think, sit down! Sorry, it's a dog. I think that is incredibly important.
Sit down. And then later, the dog still has not sit down. And he carried on, about the dog and said, "Sorry, this dog's distracting me." But it was quite funny, I must say. But I wanted to ask the question about, when you go to somebody's house, Bongles. For me, there's nothing worse when you walk into a home and there is this unruly dog who's now jumping all over your nice clean pants, your shoes. It's slobbering all over you. It's barking, and the owner just thinks, it's fine. It's dog. It's doing what a dog does. So I must say, I really get irritated by that when I walk into somebody's home, and I kind of judge, and I say, well, your dog's got no discipline. Why has your dog got no discipline? So I don't know if that's a right or a wrong thing, but do you, when you walk into somebody's home, do you judge them on how they treat their dogs? So if, for example, you walked in and the dog was doing what I just described, and somebody says to their dog, "Boxer, sit down, shut up, go to your box." What do you kind of think when they do that? Or do you prefer a calm approach to handling a dog?
I've got two.
Yes.
The one just thinks you are their best friend and you are there to visit him, so he'll be all over you. The other one is almost imperious, actually, just doesn't care, couldn't be bothered. So the other one is a bit of a diva, and the other one totally wants to befriend you. I think it's absolutely awful when dogs behave in the way that you've described, unless they're mine. All right, let's move on to our next story, Kabazela. Punctuality, the best principle.
Yeah, this father is teaching his young son that punctuality is the best principle, and they've actually got quite a cute TikTok account. He chats to his son every morning when he drops him off at school or he picks him up, and it's always like a nice little lesson. And this was about punctuality. Let's take a listen to their exchange before the youngster goes off to his school day.
Papa,
punctuality
is the best principle. Right on time.
Always be on time. Love you, boy.
Always be on time.
No, and he's
It's
always
very
be on. My mother
Yeah.
will arrive at an appointment at least 45 minutes before it is scheduled.
Yo. That is, 45 minutes is
Yeah.
hectic. Why does she do that?
Because she wants to be on time.
Yeah,
She is
well,
a stickler for time.
And the question we could ask is, what is your definition of being on time? Is on time arriving, so let's say Bongles, we're going to meet at 9 o'clock for a coffee. Is being on time arriving at 9 o'clock, or is being on time for you 15 minutes before 9 o'clock? And 15 minutes before 9 o'clock. So you're obviously getting there a little bit earlier, or 45 minutes like your mom. So, what is
Not
your
quite
definition?
45.
No, I think that's a bit.
You'll get a lot of calls from people saying, no, that's not true. He doesn't arrive 45 minutes before the thing starts. But 10, anything between 15, 10, 5, I'm okay.
Yeah, I think being on time is always 5 or 10 minutes beforehand. I don't mind if you arrive on the time as well, that's fine. Or 5 minutes late is okay. But when it starts getting 10, 15 minutes, then, I don't know, I start getting
You want to fight with me? Because my thing is always, if we're meeting at 7, don't text me at 5 to 7 telling me you're running late. Don't you do that. You knew.
Yes, you knew you were going to be late.
If we're meeting at 7, at 6:30, you knew you were late. At 6:15, you knew you were late. You were going to be late. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, don't get me going on that subject. Your definition of being on time, are you always on time? And who taught you about being punctual?
702. Feedback with Baphelile Sambo.
What's that song, Mapelile? Always on time.
Yes.
Are you always on time?
I try. I'm not always on time, but I try. And I hate people who are late.
Who
but
taught
I'm not.
you? Who taught you to be on
No
time?
one really. It's just something that it's a natural thing.
Because you're just a
said-
child of the Lord.
Yes.
Child of the
Yes,
Lord.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
What other feedback do you
Bongani,
have?
before I get to our feedback, we've been receiving a lot of queries on Walk the Talk that's happening this Sunday.
Yes.
Yes, and
You
we are
are walking?
excited. I'll be working.
You're not walking.
I'm not walking, but I'll be working. But I'll be seeing all the 702 lenders passing by. So they've been asking where they can collect their starter kits, and I want them to come down and just know that communication will start going out from today. So they must be on the lookout for their emails to check where they can collect and when they can collect their starter kits.
Because it also depends on where you're registered,
Yes,
right? And where
yes.
you'll be coming from. Okay.
Yes. So all is still going according to plan, and we cannot wait to see you on Sunday. And Bongani, today we also asked 702 lenders if they work well under pressure. And yes, most of them they do. They actually prefer to work under pressure. There's a Sinalo on WhatsApp. She says she waits for the last minute, in fact, to do everything because that's where her blood gets flowing.
I like the earlier voice note we got from somebody who says, hang on, a lot of us find ourselves having to be under pressure because we don't plan. And so we wait for the last minute and then we think, I work well under pressure. Whereas your life would be so much easier.
I don't also like working under pressure. I collapse. I cannot think straight. I miss a lot of things. Like you always say, details matter. And if I'm under pressure, I forget about those details. Anyway, Bongani, before I go, 702 lenders also want to find out what your hidden talent is beside what you do every day.
Yes.
I was thinking probably cooking.
That's
Or
not so hidden. I
your
want come down
fashion sense style,
No.
putting outfits together.
No.
Okay, tell
My
us.
hidden talent is cleaning the house.
Oh.
Doing washing.
Oh.
So it's school holidays for my youngster. So our housekeeper's on holiday. And I've been enjoying doing the washing even doing the ironing, which I don't
Wow.
always enjoy, doing the laundry, changing the linen in the beds, making sure every room is tidy, washing the dishes, leaving the house spick and span. And so my hidden talent is, if radio doesn't work out, hey, I could still be a housekeeper.
Yeah, we'll open our own company, ne?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teach people how to clean
Yes,
their homes.
yes.
I could be one of those people.
I can see you.
It's 8 o'clock. And this EWN business will be coming to you in just a moment, because, of course, after that, we'll speak to this year's Nedbank Business Ignite winner with 702.
This is EWN.
Julius Mkhwanazi and his alleged ex-lover want to be released on bail, and one of the biggest court cases in the country has been moved. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Officer Julius Mkhwanazi and a JMPD cop are expected back in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court today for the outcome of their bail application. They were arrested on Friday for allegedly planning the theft of precious stones worth nearly 15 million rand in Killarney 3 years ago. But their versions of events differ, with Mkhwanazi insisting it was a legitimate police operation, while the cop, known as Witness K at the Madlanga Commission, claims it was a planned robbery. Mkhwanazi believes Witness K testified against him at the commission out of spite. Alfara Mushwana takes a look.
Embattled EMPD Chief Julius Mkhwanazi has confirmed that he was in a romantic relationship with Witness K, a JMPD officer who accuses him of plotting the theft of precious stones. Mkhwanazi says the relationship lasted only a few months before he ended it because he did not see a future with Witness K. Through his lawyer, Mkhwanazi told the court that he believes Witness K lied about him plotting to steal the precious stones because she's a bitter ex.
Insofar as she's implicated me with the spurious criminal acts which now form the basis of the charges being preferred against me hearing. 16.2. She was emotionally distraught and devastated when I jilted her. I believe this to be the primary motive in fabricating her evidence to the commission.
The ex-lovers are set to return to court today, where they'll stand side by side as judgment on their bail application is handed down. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
The attempted murder trial of alleged crime boss Vusmuzikat Matlala and his 4 co-accused will run over 30 days. This is due to the Johannesburg High Court's revised schedule to accommodate the availability of a defense counsel. Prosecutors told the court yesterday that they will rely on cell phone analysis, CCTV footage, toll gantry records and other evidence to link the accused to 2 alleged attempted murder plots. The trial proceedings kicked off in the High Court yesterday. Dimakaso Leshuro was there.
The state alleges the BMW used in Sibanyoni's shooting used false number plates on the night of the incident. It was later discovered the car was registered in the name of accused number 2's daughter, Ntabiseng Zama. The state also outlined its case relating to the October 2023 shooting of Teboho Tobejane and her friend outside Morningside Shopping Center. Prosecutors say CCTV footage shows a silver Volkswagen Caddy arriving at the shopping center shortly after the complainants, with 2 men allegedly loitering around the center for several hours before the shooting. The state alleges one of those men was accused number 1, Mosake Kana. Prosecutors further allege investigators traced an airtime voucher purchased that evening to a cell phone number later linked to a handset recovered from a Mercedes-Benz Viano when Kekana and one Michael Puletau, a disgraced former police officer who was exposed as the central figure of a notorious contract-killing hit squad that allegedly killed Aman Swart, was arrested. Dimakazo Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
A long-awaited trial of 62 people accused of instigating the deadly July 2021 unrest is now only expected to get underway next Monday. The Durban High Court postponed proceedings yesterday due to outstanding legal representatives for some of the accused. The state alleges the accused used multiple WhatsApp groups to organize and incite the violence in 2021. Koskona Malingamnisi has more.
The 8-week trial had been scheduled to begin yesterday, with prosecutors expected to outline the
under a case against the group accused of coordinating the widespread riots and looting in parts of KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng 5 years ago. However, proceedings were delayed after the court spent much of the day dealing with legal representation issues. Several defense attorneys withdrew from the case, leaving some of the accused with newly appointed lawyers, while others appeared in court without legal representation and are now applying for legal aid. Although all 62 accused were present in court, the matter therefore could not proceed, and the presiding officer postponed the case for a week. The unrest triggered in the wake of former President Jacob Zuma's imprisonment claimed the lives of more than 300 people and resulted in billions of rands in damage as thousands of businesses were looted and destroyed. See Khona Maningamnisi Eyewitness News.
And a U.S. Army veteran has been arrested for starting a fire outside a government building in New York, apparently in protest against President Donald Trump's immigration policies. Andrew Arabaka allegedly poured gas outside the Manhattan office block before setting it alight using a lighter and a firework. Officials say 2 government employees and 1 civilian suffered minor injuries in the act, which houses immigration courts and an Office of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. ICE, chiefly responsible for Trump's mass deportation push, has drawn criticism for its heavy-handed tactics, including the fatal shootings of 2 immigrants this month and 2 U.S. citizens earlier this year. Gold is trading at $4,047.27 an ounce. The rand is at 16.48 to the dollar, 22.15 to the pound, 18.81 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $88.50 a barrel.
In the traffic lights are out in Pretoria CBD at Paul Kruger and Steuben, in Groenkloof at Eufis and Monument, as well as in Sunnyside at Risiek Street and Steve Biko Road.
And in your sport, Orlando Pirates have their World Cup players back for their final pre-season friendly against Al Ittihad tonight. At the World Cup winners Spain and runners-up Argentina return home to a hero's welcome in their respective countries.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 23 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Officer Julius Mkhwanazi and a JMPD cop are expected back in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court today for the outcome of their bail application.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
On Sunday, 26 July, 7:02 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk unites us all in the iconic Joburg CBD.
7:02
Walk the Talk. Abize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Gosh, so much on the go this morning. The Durban High Court postponing proceeding yesterday of the long-awaited trial of 62 people accused with instigating, or at least of instigating, I should rather say, the 2021 riots. This, of course, as Julius Mkhwanazi, the suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police officer, is expected in the Joburg Magistrates Court today for the outcome of his bail application. Joe Sibanyoni, the taxi boss, expected to be the first witness at the Matlala trial, as Matlala and his co-accused appear in court. Yesterday, assets belonging to tender tycoon Hangwani Malawi being seized. Do you lose the loot or go wear orange overalls? So much on the go. Britain's got a new Prime Minister, Andy Berman, yesterday, criticizing what he has called 4 decades of neoliberal policies. No more privatizing, he says.
In the 1980s, Britain took some wrong turns. Political power was centralised, economic power privatised, large parts of the country deindustrialised, and they still haven't recovered. Many feel as though they're still in decline, and they don't have the ability to turn things around. And that's why we will change politics, to make it more collaborative, more about problem solving than point scoring. And we will take power out of here and carry it into every postcode in the land so that they can do more. And in doing more, build a new economy where we put life's essentials back under stronger public control to make them affordable to you again. Reindustrialising Britain using public procurement to back British industry.
Sounds very ANC, hey? If you actually think about what he's saying, who knew?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Kabazela wants to know, how punctual are you? And what's your definition of being on time? And who taught you? Who taught you to be on time? Ray?
I had this news mentor back when I started called Christopher Bennett. And he said, young man, I would like 8 o'clock at 8 o'clock. And that was it. I've never forgotten that. So with news and other things, I'm there at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock at 8 o'clock. Are you always on time?
Yes, of course I'm always on time. The question is, I don't like the tone.
You know, there's hundreds of thousands of people listening to us.
Of course. And I do traffic, so I have to be on time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Always on time.
Hello guys, my name is Riyad, and where I learned punctuality was actually from work. And look, in terms of coming in, I always believe in a business environment, you should be at least 20 minutes earlier for your day.
Hi Bongani and the team. Loving the show as always. I'm a stickler for time as well. I think if I have an interview and stuff, I'll try to have at least between 15 and 30 minutes earlier. 45 is too much, Bongani. Now 45 is a bit too much. But 15 minutes or so. And I learned it in, I think probably because I went to boarding school since I was grade 3. So they're sticklers for, they make sure that you wake up on time, you have to do your bed, etc. So I think it's something that was just instilled into me to always be on time like that.
Eunice on our WhatsApp line, Eunice Msutwana says, I was married to a man who thought being on time meant arriving an hour early, and that drove me nuts. And then I dated a dude who was always late, and that also drove me crazy. Can't win either way. You also learn in social settings not to be quite a general about it. I used to be that person that if I invited you for lunch, it will be ready at 1 o'clock. But then I found that the people who are always late are still very happy, hey?
Oh, yeah.
I'm the one whose nerves are frayed and all over the place and losing my cool and therefore not enjoying the experience. So I've learned to relax a little, not entirely, but at least a little, because in a social setting with friends and family, you can't quite be an army general about it. The other question, of course, we were asking is, you judge people on how their dogs or their pets behave. My dog, Babushka, will come for you. He's a tiny little Yorkie. He's as friendly can be.
Yeah?
He wants to hug you. He wants to sniff you. He wants to lick you. You pick him up, he's coming for your face. His brother, Nick Fury, my one-eyed...
Nick Fury.
Okay. As in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
My one-eyed Pekingese. He's very imperious. He'll come to you if he feels like it.
Oh.
And then he'll be friendly. But just leave you alone. Just looks at you like, how dare you?
Hi, Bongani. On the dog topic, so a friend of mine and I went to visit our other friend who has 2 dogs. I think we went for a run and then we went for lunch at her house. So she's got this cute little things. I'm not a dog person. I'm actually very scared of dogs. Now they're busy jumping on us, saying hi and whatever and licking everything and everywhere. And guys, the person that I am, I was so scared and I was like, what? Needless to say, my other friend was like Oh my gosh, she was so shocked. And she's like, I'm going to tell her what you said to her dogs. I'm like, I'm so sorry. It's the first thing that came out of my mouth. But anyway, yeah, some people treat their dogs like babies, which is fine. I've got my own little human babies, which is what I prefer. But yeah, that's what I said to those little dogs. And she's never let it go.
Morning, Bongani. I was 10 years old when a dog attacked me and I got bit. So since that time, up until today, I'm 52 years old. I will not enter anybody's house or yard if they have a dog. For me to enter your house, if you have a dog, you will secure your dog or put him in another room before I enter your house.
Morning, Bongani. I've never experienced this dog issue, but I've experienced children that just go on top of you. I mean, and the parents just don't do anything about it. Yeah, that's the part. If the parent is doing something, then you also have a leg, to stand on, or rather, if as like you can just join and just you get the courage basically to call the child to order in a nice way. But if parents are just quiet, then you look like you are just not friendly to kids. And yet I love kids, but I don't like it when they just do as they please. Kids playing with the blinds, they visit you, they just play with blinds and curtains, and the parents are not saying anything. That's just too much, man. It's just way, way too much.
Oh, I'll tell the parents. Ooh, don't get me started on that. I will tell the parents.
You'll say
absolutely.
to them, hey.
Yeah. Sort them out. Right now. No. Not a second too late. I cannot handle unruly kids. I cannot handle unruly kids. I'll go ahead and tell the parent. The other thing about punctuality, of course, is you can be too early. Right?
Yeah, it's annoying.
You can be too early. You've been invited to arrive at 1 and you're there at 12 and the host isn't ready.
That's
right?
as rude.
There's a reason they said 1, not 12.
Yeah.
That can also be a bit of a problem.
EWN Traffic.
But rather Ryan on time, this EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Khumutso, what's happening in the Proefplaas area?
Where are your glasses?
Proefplaas.
Please put on your glasses.
Proefplaas.
Okay. In Linwood, that accident on the N1 just after Rigel Avenue is still causing slight delays from the Proefplaas interchange. Staying in that area in Monument Park, the R21 North is also under pressure between the Proefplaas interchange and Christian de Wet Avenue. Coming from Centurion, traffic is heavily backed up. This is from the Braakfontein interchange all the way to the Proefplaas with about a 20-minute hold up. And I'll wrap up with some good news. That stationary vehicle on the N1 North after Beyers Nodia has been cleared, so traffic should be easing up there a little bit.
And at the Reading interchange?
Oh, too soon.
I mean, you're wearing your glasses.
Too soon.
Shots fired.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
25 minutes listening to your favorite playlist can go quickly. 25 minutes stuck in traffic feels twice as long. Thankfully, the Outsurance pointsmen are here to save the day. Heroes in green and purple, easing traffic congestion for 20 years. The Outsurance pointsmen helping everyone get to where they need to be quickly and safely. Just another way you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
18 after 8, on to this now. I mean, it's a partnership that's lasted for more than a decade. Nedbank and 702 helping countless small businesses to grow. So this year's Nedbank Business Ignite, we're celebrating entrepreneurs who've turned a personal challenge into a business to make a real difference. After weeks of excitement, anticipation, and a rigorous judging process, we are thrilled to announce our 2026 winner, who receives phenomenally a 200,000 Rand cash prize, as well as mentorship, national exposure, and support beyond banking. with Simply Biz. We told you about it on Friday, of course, because we had that glittering ceremony. Okay, not quite glittering. We had the award ceremony on Thursday evening. And in studio with us is the business owner of Ruka Pty Ltd, Bongani Mtimkulu. Bongani, congratulations.
Thank you, Bongani.
Has the dust settled in, the excitement, since Thursday last week?
First of all, good morning to you and the 702 Linders. But it hasn't settled. It still feels completely surreal.
Have you been telling people? Have people heard?
Of course.
And what are people saying?
People are very excited because, most of the people that we told were part of the journey. They know what it took to actually get to this point. So, yeah, it's pretty excited.
Just remind us again, your business essentially hangs on a messaging service.
Correct. So we are streamlining and automating operations for small and medium businesses to be able to run their operations on WhatsApp so that their customers don't have to download apps or go to websites or use any other system. And we make sure that all those misleads, those messages are being automated and taken care of by AI.
So, for example, if I were to, sell this coffee cup, right? Say I put an ad on Instagram and the link to go to talk to me on WhatsApp if you want one of these is where you come in.
Correct.
And then people can talk to a chatbot in terms of what they want, what color they want, and then the ordering process begins there.
Yes. So it's a language model that will talk to them in a human-like manner, in the language of their choosing. They can send voice notes, interact with it directly, handle payments, and if there's any appointments to be booked, they can still do it through the same channel.
In a sense, then, many of the other finalists are potential clients of yours.
Yes. Actually, the award ceremony ended up being a networking session for me because this is where we actually drove a lot of leads.
I beat you now. Give me your business.
Exactly.
How does this win impact your business?
It impacts it in a very big way because marketing was one of the main things that we were looking at now. The prize money is amazing, but the mentorship from Thuli, all the strategic support that we'll be getting from Simply Biz are obviously priceless. And we're at a time where we now want to expand our market reach and try to get the product to the people. We've built it. We've gotten feedback. Now we want to get it to all these small and medium enterprises to start working with it.
What's your next move?
Our next move is marketing, going around, sell some more, and then put some more tech onto our system. And also because tech is also growing, look for another problem to solve.
Fantastic stuff. Congratulations. And we look
very
forward to
much.
hearing more and more about your journey and the growth that is surely to come. Stay listening to 702 for all the biggest highlights from this year's Nedbank Business Ignite. You can also, of course, check out all our finalists on igniteyourbusiness.co.za. Nedbank, see money differently. Nedbank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
702, The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
Let's catch up now with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam, this Gulf conflict, it's escalating.
And how far could it go? What would trigger it to go further? We know that there was a 10th night of US airstrikes last night, that Iran has claimed to have hit 2 oil tankers again in the Strait of Hormuz. Donald Trump has said that they continue to hit Iran hard, though I thought they had degraded their military already. But anyway, they're still active, it appears. This is an interesting Sky News report about how this could escalate if there were more American casualties. We know that there are 2 American soldiers killed in Jordan and 1 in Iraq. If there were more.
Oh, I think we've lost you there for a second, Adam. Are you still there? The line has broken. We're not hearing you from our end. Adam Gilchrist? Ooh, I'll tell you what, we're going to have to try Adam back on the line. We've lost. Adam, are you there?
Hello. Hello,
there we
Bongani.
There we go. We
there
lost
we
you
are.
there for
Somebody's
a second.
put the wires back in.
All right, we lost you there for a
Just
second.
talking. I was going through just 1 or 2 of the Sky News report potentials for escalation. So apart from there being more American casualties, what if the US military went too far and again there was a major loss of Iranian civilian life? Would that compel their government to act? more. Iran and Israel not currently in direct conflict, but what if they were to resume tit-for-tat airstrikes? There's the nuclear issue, of course. Should Iran get closer to having a weapon of mass destruction, then would that precipitate action? And the economic issue, which is being felt by everyone. There is pressure, therefore, to stop oil prices going through the roof even more. All of that combined, all of that seems entirely plausible. All of that could absolutely happen and escalate the war.
Well, let's see how this works. You go into a country, you attack particularly its civilian infrastructure. You kill lots of people, including children, school children, at a creche, for example. And if they kill more of your guys, then you're going to up the ante. Yeah. Hey? And now, Adam, tell me about a Labour Prime Minister that sounds like a Labour Prime Minister.
He has instantly. He's a very affable bloke by all accounts. I wonder if affability always works in politics, but do you know what? He's not been in the job more, 20 hours yet. So we're not going to judge him harshly yet, but his first speech, you're right. I think he's talked about bringing hope. He talked about tackling homelessness. He talked about trying to ease the burden of the cost of living crisis. He's instantly, just this morning, announced removing a tax, the VAT tax, from domestic energy bills, which will help some people. Of course it will. He's talked about a 10-year plan. And I have to say, given that we now have had 7 British prime ministers in 10 years, most of them, I think, talked about a 10-year plan and weren't there anything like 10 years. So it's all very well sounding long term, but if you're only there short term, what does that mean? I mean, Liz Truss, for instance, was there in the blink of an eye. So he will come up with, we're told, a 10-year plan in due course. But Andy Burnham's immediate task, he says, is just to help ordinary people and to, as he put it, bring back stability to British politics. Well, listen, if he lasts to the next election, that's 3 years. That's already more stable than it has been.
Yeah, so Tony Blair saying a country with so many changes at the top simply doesn't take itself very seriously. Now, Adam, tell me about China's new literary sensation.
I love this guy, Wang Jibing. His poems are not yet available in English or, in fact, any language outside of Mandarin, but he is quite a sensation in China. He's just one of their top literary prizes, whilst working as a food delivery bike rider. Some of his poems he scribbled on slips of paper between food deliveries. You can see him on the back of a bike, so scribbling away. And his poems have been published now in China. He's one of 3 blue-collar workers to gain traction. There was another delivery driver, likewise, and a migrant worker who've also been famed for penning fabulous stuff. His poems are set to be translated into English and French by December, in time for Christmas. But so far, we have only this to go on. See what you think. It's a poem called Low Flight, inspired by his everyday challenges as a delivery rider. Who says spreading your wings means flying high? Flying low is also flying, with wind rustling like bird tweets and wheels speeding like shooting stars. The meal delivery note attached to a takeout in clear black and white symbolizes urgency, like a legal document and a magic incantation. I like that.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be, I don't know, something like, let us celebrate, Adam, or I love you from my head, tomatoes, but a lot more poetic than that. That's why I'm not going to win any literary prizes anytime soon. Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
Right, let's get into business news. 27 after 8, wrapping up the morning's business. We were talking about this just now with Adam Gilchrist, of course, the Gulf War. That involves the US. Ray, the US now imposing harsh tariffs on Canada.
That's right. Here's a story. US President Donald Trump has imposed a 50% tariff on a wide range of goods imported from Canada in retaliation for what he called unequal treatment of US cars, dairy and alcohol, everyday consumer items like wine and hockey sticks, of course, and industrial goods such as cement are among the goods targeted. However, several key exports will be spared, such as energy, potash, also critical minerals and fish. Prime Minister Mark Carney has now responded by saying Canada stands ready to intensify trade talks with the US in the coming weeks. He wants to talk, but the White House said the duties would take effect in 30 days. It marks a major escalation in trade tensions between the North American neighbors. So, yeah, more tariffs. Here you go.
So not just a new Prime Minister, but a new Finance Minister.
You see, this is interesting because the former Finance Minister or Chancellor of the Exchequer came under fire. Now, John Healey has been named as the UK's new Chancellor, but will now have to literally put his money where his mouth is. Andy Burnham is now Prime Minister, as you heard with Adam. Well, Healey resigned as Defence Secretary under Keir Starmer, saying the Treasury had failed to properly fund Britain's armed forces. When he resigned last month, he accused the Treasury of being unwilling to properly fund the defence investment plan. Now he will need to find the money himself.
Can he do what he criticized others for not doing? Mediation in the Middle East, might that ease things a little?
Yeah, we're hoping so. Asian stocks have risen this morning as mediation efforts in the Middle East push oil prices away from that 1 month high. While investors brace for a slate of corporate earnings that would test an under pressure AI trade, looking forward to that later on this week. Hang Seng up 0.13. But all three main US indices were down at the close. Looking at our rand now, also regaining a bit of ground since yesterday. 16.46, that's the dollar. 22.13 to the pound. To the euro, 18.81. Platinum, $1,618.17. And then gold is $4,063.40. Brent crude oil, now $88.47. Stephen will have more business news for you this afternoon.
Time now for your latest Eyewitness News. Up next, we meet the latest chef to exit the kitchen. In the meantime, Sfisa Zulu, what do you have?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Opposition parties in Mfuleni are calling for more arrests in connection with a 16 million rand tender fraud case at the municipality. The DA and the PAC were in the Funnelvale Park Magistrates Court yesterday, where former fleet manager Lerato Mpolo appeared on fraud and corruption charges. In 2023, the municipality issued a contract for 18 vehicles, but only received 7. Financial clerk Martha Ransofu uncovered the scheme and referred it to police for investigation, but she was murdered shortly after laying the complaint. Koskona Malingamnisi reports.
The Gauteng Political Killings Task Team arrested Mpulo and has confirmed its investigation is at a sensitive stage with more arrests possible. The DA's Mfuleni mayoral candidate Kingsol Shabalala has welcomed that development, saying other municipal officials, politicians and anyone who played a role in the alleged scheme must also face the law. Shabalala says the growing number of criminal cases involving people entrusted to run Mfuleni underscores the municipality's deep governance failures.
I mean, it says a lot. I mean, as the DA we've been saying over the years, that the ANC has collapsed this municipality, and that this municipality, because of corruption, continues to limp from one disaster.
The PAC's Apapowe has echoed the same calls. Or see Kona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News.
The Cape Town Regional Court has reserved judgment in the case involving beauty queen Chidima Adechina as she fights to stay in South Africa. Adechina, a former Miss South Africa finalist, withdrew from the pageant in 2024 after it emerged that her mother might have committed identity theft to become a South African national. She later went to win Miss Universe Nigeria, where her father is from. The Home Affairs Department is seeking a court order confirming her detention pending deportation, and her lawyer says he's confident the decision declaring Adechina a prohibited person in South Africa will be overturned. Camray Clark reports.
Chidima Adechina's lawyer, Advocate Giles Barclay-Buton, has argued against her detention pending deportation, saying Home Affairs failed to prove she is a flight risk and noting she is willing to surrender her South African passport. He also added that she is a high-profile individual and is unlikely to disappear without a trace. He told the court her arrest after re-entering South Africa via Mozambique in June was an ambush and pointed out that she had unsuccessfully applied for the prohibited person status to be uplifted days before arriving. The same decision which is now being reviewed by the Western Cape High Court. The lawyer for Home Affairs, Mutlalepule Ranto, countered, saying that Adechina has also re-entered the country last year despite being on a visa-restricted list. Ranto also asked the court not to rule while preempting the outcome of the High Court review. Judgment is expected on the 19th of August. Camray Clark. Eyewitness News.
Environmentalists say 3 radioactive leaks at Koeberg Nuclear Power Station have raised fresh questions about the safety of the aging nuclear reactor. The National Nuclear Regulator now faces growing pressure to account for its decision to extend the life of Koeberg Nuclear Power Station's Unit 2. Radiological contamination incidents were reported at the facility recently during maintenance work. Carlo Peterson takes a look.
Authorities maintain no reactive material escaped into the environment and only low levels of radiation were detected inside the reactor building. But Southern African Faith Communities Environment Institute Director Francesca de Gasperis says the incidents highlight long-standing concerns about safety monitoring at the facility.
They need to very seriously look at their compliance and at their safety regulations.
Koeberg's Unit 2 was granted a 20-year license extension last year, while the National Nuclear Regulator says an investigation into the recent incidents is underway. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And India's Cockroach Party movement has vowed to press ahead with their campaign until the Education Minister resigns, a day after at least 180 people were injured in protests in New Delhi. Thousands of protesters gathered in the heart of the Indian capital yesterday, demanding the minister's resignation and wider examination reforms in a show of force by the Cockroach Junta Party online movement. The CJP has won millions of followers on social media since it launched in May, fueling one of the biggest challenges to Prime Minister Narendra Modi since he won his 3rd term in office in 2024. Hundreds of protesters remained camped at the Janta Manta protest site, many of them calling for wider changes in the education system. A fine day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 23 degrees.
In the traffic, look out for faulty traffic lights in Midrand at the R55 in Kenilworth, in Edenvale at Moorigfontein and Van Riebeek, as well as in Midrand at Allendale and Waterfall.
The top story this hour, opposition parties in Mfuleni are calling for more arrests in connection with a 16 million rand tender fraud case at the municipality.
Pedestrians, winter days are shorter. That means more walking in the dark. If drivers can't see you, your life is at risk. Wear bright or reflective clothing, add reflective strips to your school bag, and use a flashlight when walking at night. Walk in groups where possible. Being visible is not just a choice, it's your protection. Be bright, save your life this winter. This message is brought to you by the National Department of Transport.
On Sunday, 26 July, iconic rhythm taking place in Johannesburg. The finish line of the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Babize Bonge calls this epic walk through the inner city comes together with some of Joburg's favorite artists, Babalwa M, Lebza De Villen, The Bushle, Nomfundo Mo, Citizen Deep, and Manana. Some of them I will know better on Sunday. So after you take the scenic route, join us at the finish line with artists you know and others you didn't before. The 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. Did you know the total number of Powerball winners in June are 4,001,000? Listen carefully. 4,152,822, and the total prize money won is over 530 million rand. So play Powerball and catch live draws on Tuesdays and Fridays at 9 p.m. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizakai.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hi, Bongos and team. Time is an important factor in life. However, I feel like it's important to use your time productively. So I will arrive early when I need to, on a need to basis. I don't just randomly arrive early because with your 45 minutes, I could be doing something productive. So 30 minutes is also too early. I will arrive 5 minutes early or right on time, depending on where I'm going. Because there are other people you arrive on time or even 15 minutes early and they start later. And that drives me insane.
Morning, Bongani. Nomsa here. Yo, me and time. I'm always in time.
if I say to you, let's meet at 10 o'clock, I'm going to be there before 10. And I'm always the first one to be there. Everyone, even in my family, they don't respect time. So I'm like that. I was never taught. I'm just like that. When we say 7 o'clock, it's going to be 7 o'clock for me. Then I have to wait for people because people don't respect time. I don't know why.
Yo, Bongos and team, good morning. Bongos, I can boast that I'm punctual. I'm punctual, and I learned this from my pastor, Pastor Chooks Ozabo. Now, that man taught me about punctuality. Ask me to be at your house by 5 a.m. You'll see me there by 5 a.m. Because I'll be somewhere there like 4:30. Then I know that when it's to 5, I'll get to your house. Then when you open your door, you find me there. Punctuality. I am the one.
Hi, Bongani. This is Chintan from Benoni. I live in a mixed family where we have South African Standard Time, we have German Standard Time for things being really on time, and then we have Indian Standard Time for those delayed moments. And it's such a struggle to balance between them. Thanks for the show.
Wow, all these people saying they're half an hour early, 45 minutes early because being late is disrespectful. Am I the only person listening that thinks being chronically early is just as disrespectful to the person? Now suddenly you expect them to entertain you or deal with you so much earlier than the appointed time. No, if you're meant to be somewhere at 8 o'clock, you get there at 8 o'clock. 5 to 8 is acceptable. 10 to 8 is acceptable. But earlier than that, you wait in your car.
That's what I was going to ask, because sometimes you think there's traffic or things might happen. Let me just get there early so that I'm not late. And then sometimes things just work out and there is no traffic, and whatever disruptions you thought you might experience aren't there. And so you are there early, but you wait in your car. Gosh, if we're good friends, I'm going to let you know I'm on my way. I'm a little early. It's fine. You can, I'll go sit in the back. I'll go sit in the lounge. Pretend I'm not here. Do you know what I mean? But if it's a really good friend, it might be the only time we get to catch up on the goss before everybody else arrives.
EWN Sport.
Cindy, are you always on time?
I try to be.
Is there such a thing as too early?
Yes, there is such a thing as too early, and I am 9 times out of 10 on time.
So what's too early?
Too early, I would say anything more than 10 to 15 minutes.
That's too early.
Yeah.
15 minutes is too early.
Yeah, 15 minutes early is early, especially if you're hosting. I'm saying if I'm hosting you and you come over 15 minutes early, there's that last minute runaround preparation stuff that you're just trying to get done. Maybe you dashed upstairs quickly to get yourself prepared, etc., etc.
I'm going to arrive 15 minutes early.
Why?
Because I want to be on time. I don't want to be late.
On time. You don't need to be 15 minutes early. There's no
15
need.
minutes is on time.
No, it's not.
No, it's
not.
on time.
15 minutes early.
No, it's on time because then I know I'm not late. Must wait in the car at Cindy's house.
No, just go around the block a couple of times, wait at a garage, go get yourself a cup of coffee in one of the bajillion coffee shops in my area. But no.
All right. Orlando Pirates, are they going to be on time?
They're in action tonight.
This game has come on time.
They're playing Al Ittihad in the last of their preseason matches, and they have their full squad with the World Cup players joining them for kickoff at 7. The game will be televised on SuperSport. On tour so far, Pirates beat Spanish side Cadiz 2-1, and they drew 1-1 with Cordoba. World Cup winners Spain returned home to celebrate with an estimated crowd of almost 2 million through the streets of Madrid. The squad met the country's royal family and Prime Minister, while in Argentina, thousands lined up to welcome home the runners-up who returned without captain Lionel Messi and a few other players. The Italian Football Federation has approached Pep Guardiola to take over as national coach. Italy failed to qualify for their third successive World Cup. Commonwealth Games starts this week in Scotland. In netball, the Spa Proteas are in Group A with favourites Australia and England, as well as Tonga, Northern Ireland and Saturday's opponents Malawi. The team welcomes back from retirement defender Carla Pretorius, who plays in her third Commonwealth Games, captain Kanisa Chwane.
Even during trainings, you can see the younger defenders going up to her, asking questions, having conversations with her, which is a very integral part in the team, to have someone who has done it before and can actually help elevate the team. And I mean, each and every team that she plays for, the standard of that team elevates. So her part coming into the team is going to be very important, and it's definitely going to lift the standard of our team.
South African men's and women's national hockey team have started a crowdfunding campaign to get to next month's Hockey World Cup. Both teams need to raise $1 million per team to fund playing kits, travelling costs and accommodation. The crowdfunding campaign is on fundyourpassion.protouch.africa. And international cricket tonight, the West Indies are playing for pride against New Zealand in the 5th ODI, as New Zealand already has a 3-1 lead in the series. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
What is special about this year's 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk is that it returns to where Walk the Talk all started, where we'll be walking in the inner city, celebrating the resurgence of the city of Johannesburg and celebrating the people who make it special. You should take part in this year's 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk because there's so much good stuff happening in the city of Johannesburg. The city is having a moment, and it's thanks to people and organizations who never stopped believing in the power and the magic of the city. So this year, I can't wait to be at the start of this momentous 702 Walk the Talk. I haven't been to Ellis Park in many, many years. So while I might not see you on the route, I'll definitely be at the beginning to see you off as you begin your journey through the inner city. To enter the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, go to primemediaplus.com and we'll see you there on the 26th of July.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and really all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch it this Wednesday at 10 to 9, featuring the Cape Town International Convention Centre. Their CEO, Toby Butlabane, will be in conversation with us. We do this to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building the country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
Imagine if you could save time like you save money. A second here, a minute there. Type a little faster, walk a little faster. Or you could stop scrolling on the internet. Just think of all the hours you'll save. Now what if you could take all that time and invest it? Watch it grow. Until eventually, one day, you'd have so much time that you wouldn't know what to do with it all. But unfortunately, time doesn't work like that. It can't be stored or banked. And unlike money, you can't make it back. That's why after 50 years of investing, we've learned that time is the greatest gift of all. And the good news is, if you invest early, time gives you money. And then money gives you more time to do whatever you want to do, even if it is scrolling on the internet. Ellen Gray. Long-term investing. Ellen Gray is an authorized FSP.
Elevate your flying experience with Lyft Premium. Enjoy even more space, comfort, and convenience with priority boarding, extra baggage allowance, and complimentary lounge access. Visit lyft.co.za today.
EWN Traffic.
13 minutes before 9 o'clock. Let's wrap up this morning's traffic. Your final one on breakfast this week.
I was going to say that you stole my
as
line.
Amo makes a welcome return.
You sound so sad. You sound very sad.
Heartbroken.
If you're on the M1 South, especially just after passing Melrose, you can expect slow-moving traffic due to an accident just before the Kilani bends. Over on the N3, traffic is also starting to back up as you approach the Petlu interchange, so please be a little bit patient there for a slower trip. Good news if you're traveling through the Linwood area, the earlier accident that was on the N1 North has been cleared and traffic is moving much better actually as it recovers from there. If you have any other traffic on your side, please do send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072-702-1702.
Oh, it's not going to be the same without you.
Stop it.
And on the EWN app.
Mavis, I wonder if I should sell my car. I'm not sure where to go.
Wanna sell your car, but don't know what to do. You don't have to go far, we come to you. If you're rolling under 1.5 or a Lacquer 2.2, doesn't matter what you drive, we buy cars once you.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
Welcome to Nando's. Taste Domonials. It's the flavor! Real reviews by real people. Nico from Kailami is in touch with his emotions. So when we asked about the Nando's Peri Peri half chicken and a single side for only $1.25, he said,
I'm sad. I finished it.
Ah, Nikos, ungawari. Because this chicken season has more episodes. Nando's. Oh, what a place.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. The total number of lotto winners to date is 18,886,946, and the total prize money won is over 149 million rand. So what must you do with this information? Inspire yourself and play the lotto. It's still just 5 rand. Catch the live draws on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 9 p.m. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizakai.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Coming up next, of course, the Clement Manyatela Show. Clement is going to be taking us to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. No doubt one of the big stories of the day will be the appearance of Advocate Andrea Johnson. What will she say? At 11, it's going to be the World of Work feature. They'll be discussing the skills mismatch in the job market. At 11:30, health and wellness. They'll be tackling the hidden contents in your favorite winter beverages. You think you're going to be snug and warm, but what are you actually taking in? The Clement Manyatela Show between 9 and 12.
Let's talk.
We're listening.
Hello, Bongani. Hello, 702. Bongani, you won't believe that I knew what your hidden talent is. I knew it's cleaning. All right, bye.
Looking to save money on your business insurance? Switch to Outsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Here's Niku from the Gas Mart.
I was with my previous insurer for 9 years before switching to Outsurance Business Insurance. I'm very happy with my premiums at the moment. I wish we switched sooner to Outsurance Business Insurance.
Get a quote to switch and save today. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 0800 60,000. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Find your next design obsession at Decorex Joburg. From the 30th of July to the 2nd of August, the Sandton Convention Centre becomes the destination for the latest in decor and design. Explore over 450 exhibitors across 5 levels, inspiring talks and live demos, plus the property show by Private Property. Download the Decorex app and plan your visit today. Decorex Joburg, 30th July to 2nd August. Tickets at decorex.co.za and at the door.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. Did you know the total number of Powerball winners in June are 4,001,000? Listen carefully. 4,152,822, and the total prize money won is over 530 million rand. So play Powerball and catch live draws on Tuesdays and Fridays at 9 p.m. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizakai.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Every day I come here and I think, what do these guys have for us?
There's no such thing as an easy challenge in this competition.
At that point, I'm losing all confidence. Like from here to...
It's difficult.
You're not going to go home today.
Do you think that's going to be good enough?
I'm fighting for my life.
I'm out of my element.
Listen up, everyone. You only got 20 minutes left. Kulego wenzani?
We need to get these in the oven like as in yesterday.
Someone is going
the drama. He was a standout contestant. He's an entrepreneur. He's a Newcastle-raised food consultant who, of course, competed in the MasterChef Kitchen for MasterChef South Africa Season 6. His charismatic presence, bold local flavors, his curated Fire and Oak and Sunday Fire events, successfully cooking his way to the top 5. Smela Shanga is in the studio with us. Firstly, has the dust settled in? Good morning.
Morning. Yeah, no, it has. Had a bit of an emotional day on Sunday, but now, it's Tuesday. I'm feeling a bit better. Had a few hugs from the wife. Feeling a bit better now.
Listen, I think it's testament to your character and your personality and who you were on the show that the remaining contestants cried more than you did when you exited.
Yeah, it was a very emotional episode. I remember I was talking to Kulego while I was watching it, and he was like, yo, that was so emotional. It was a crazy episode. It was just so intense.
And it was the meat pie.
That
the pie. Flaked you.
Not as easy as pie, unfortunately.
Yeah. What was the toughest part? Was it the filling? Was it the pastry?
I think the
was
pastry.
Was putting it all together, hey?
The filling was okay for me because that's just building flavors and cooking that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
The issue was, of course, the pastry because I'm not a baker. I've never made pastry before. I've never made pie before. So making the pastry for the first time in the top 4 of MasterChef, that was crazy. That was the hardest part, definitely.
And what's your standout moment for you over the season?
I think obviously I had 3 wins in the top 10, which is great. But I think the part that stands out for me the most is when Chef Giles came over in the top 18 right at the beginning, and I had a top 3 dish in the head to tail. And that stood out for me because the one thing he said was, as a chef, the best thing you can do is put yourself on the plate. Don't worry about being fancy. Don't worry about looking good. Just put yourself on the plate, and that's going to translate and it's going to resonate with the people eating the food. And that's what I carried through my journey all the way to top 4.
In what ways would you say you put yourself on the plates?
Bold flavors, I'm like, the one thing the judges always said is like, dude, you're dishing up, right? Come on, Mr. Ugly Delicious. I was like, you know what? I'll see that later. I just want the food to taste good, right? And that for me was the key. The food has to taste good because ultimately that's what people remember, right? Remember what the food tasted like, not what it looked like. And that for me was the most important part is that when you eat my food, you remember, wow, that tasted good.
So you are known as the Inyama man.
Yeah.
And yet one of the big surprises, I think, throughout the season was winning with that dessert.
Yes, that was the only dessert I had.
Dish of the day.
Yes, that was the only dessert I had. My pancakes that I make for my kids every weekend. I was like, you know what, I'm going to juice this up, make it MasterChef level. And it won me dish of the day. And I was glad I didn't have to do another dessert. Because I wasn't going to be able to.
I mean, one of the things that was a standout, of course, was the fact that you wear umqhele. And how proud are you to bring in your Zulu heritage, both as a contestant, but also as a reflection of your culture?
Yeah, no, that's what I love about South Africa, just being able to express yourself in all these different cultures and languages that we have. And I wanted to express that. And I think the great thing about the show this season is that they've encouraged us to use our vernac and to use our culture and to express ourselves the best we can. And this was just part of that.
It's a show for everyone, right?
Yeah, it's a show for everyone.
I mean, when you first saw MasterChef come to South Africa, and clearly you have a passion for cooking, did you ever think you would be one of those contestants?
The reason I watched it was to see how much I had to go. Because I'm like, when it first came, there was no way I could have made it.
Yeah.
And also, funny enough, this is the second time I auditioned. I auditioned last season, and I didn't make it. And then I auditioned again this season, and then I went all the way to the top 4. So, that is really cool. And I remember yesterday I got a reminder on Facebook that I posted about it last year, 2 years ago, that, hey, I auditioned for
entering this thing. Yeah.
And I didn't make it.
What do you think the difference was?
I don't know. I think I was just more ready. I was just timing. I think fate. If I went last season, I think I would have made top 4. And I think this season was just perfect timing and everything just fell into place.
So do you still have a food dream? Do you want to do this as a business? Do you see a future for yourself in food?
Yeah. So now I've got a supper club that I've started.
A supper club? That
Yes.
sounds fascinating. Tell me more.
It's called an intentional table, and we do events.
Intentional table.
Dining with intention.
Yeah.
So we basically I go to restaurants and I do kitchen takeovers, and I cook the food. I do 4 or 5 course meals. I've got a brunch coming up on the 8th of August. I've got a dinner coming up a week after that, and I do all the cooking. It's a 4 or 5 course dinner with the wine pairing. And so our website
and do the participants, like anybody can be a part of it? Do you have to know the people that are going to be there? How does it work?
That's what I love about it, is that you can come by yourself. You meet new people. Some of the dinners that we've had, people have come and they didn't know anybody there, by the end of the evening, they're swapping numbers, they're hugging, and they're friends. And that's what we want to do. We want to just connect people through food and really beautifully curated experiences, and that's what this does.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Meat, but I love duck. I love cooking duck. That's my favorite meal. I could cook
Duck
anything.
is so tricky though, hey? Because
Yeah.
it can so easily dry out.
I made the duck that you loved when you came over that time,
yes,
so
indeed.
I love cooking duck.
Even though
we didn't
you
quite
weren't on the
win.
winning team
Oh, we did have your
on
vote
that
though.
episode.
I think we did.
What's the dish that trumps you every time?
So I would say anything dessert. It's not really my stronghold. So I would shy away as much as I can from making desserts, but I do have a few in my arsenal. But yeah, desserts are not really my strong point. But I do kill anything steak or meat.
So I tend to find that when I'm cooking, I focus a lot on dessert because often you have to freeze the thing, which requires a lot more prep time. It requires a lot more time to set and to settle down. So typically I would start with making the dessert. And I often neglect the things that seem easy to do because you think the dessert is going to be the hardest. Of course, one of the things to give context to the show, you obviously filmed a lot of this, quite a lot, quite a while ago.
November.
You weren't evicted literally this past
Yesterday, yeah.
Sunday.
Feels like it.
Have you made chicken and leek pie since?
No, I haven't. But I did promise Chef Knox that I'm going to try make a pie. And when I did a watch party this weekend for my family, they're like, "Are you making pie?" I was like, I'll think about it. And then on the day, I just made meat.
No chicken and
No
leek
chicken
pie
and
for
leek
you.
pies,
It's
but I
still
will-
too,
I
the
am
trauma's still
tempted.
too fresh.
Still too fresh, but I do want to make a steak and kidney because that's my favorite. So
All
I
right.
wanted to make that.
Listen, what a journey you've had. And I think, as I said earlier, I think it's testament to how you competed and how you played the game, that even though you were the one who was exiting, your fellow contestants were the ones. I think Kuleko cried the hardest.
Yes, Kuleko
if
cried
I
a lot.
remember. He cried the hardest
emotional.
when you left. Smile Shange, MasterChef contestant, well done. And we look forward to seeing more of what you have to offer as you pursue your food dream.
Thank you so much.
7:02.
More than a radio station.
Let's walk the talk.
Ah, look at the time. It's 9 o'clock. The Clement Manyatela Show starts now.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Johannesburg High Court is set to deliver judgment in the case of a man accused of starting a fire that killed 76 people in the Usindiso building nearly 3 years ago. Stembiso Mdlalose initially admitted to igniting the blaze that ripped through the hijacked property, but later tried to withdraw his confession, claiming it was false. During his trial, Mdlalose attempted to have his confession thrown out, but the Johannesburg High Court dismissed his application. Goskona Malingamnisi reports.
Tembiso Mdlalose's case has taken several dramatic turns since his arrest. In January 2024, he admitted to starting the fire while trying to burn the body of a man he claimed to have killed during an altercation. He later confessed a second time. However, during the trial, Mdlalose withdrew those admissions, insisting they were false. He claimed he had been under the influence of drugs when he confessed. He also denied ever killing anyone, telling the court that he's never even killed a bug. The NPA has maintained confidence in its case. Mdlalose, meanwhile, has repeatedly insisted he believes he will be acquitted, saying he remains confident in his legal team's handling of the case. Si Khona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News.
The head of the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption, Andrew Johnson, is expected to return to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry this morning. Johnson fell ill a few hours before her scheduled appearance last Monday. She is expected to testify about her alleged relationship with